Greetings, gamers, and welcome to episode 14. I think it's 14 of the O7 Iron podcast. So today I'm with two special guests, one of which being a new guest. And I guess we can just go straight into the introduction. So, Mr. Salii, would you like to kick it off?
Yeah, so RuneScape name Salii, I guess. Been playing RuneScape for a very long time now. It's been my main game ever since maybe like 2006, 2007. Played on and off as everyone does, but mostly on. I've converted to Iron Man mode about 3 years ago now. A little bit over 3 years now. Since then maxed and got all the good gears on it. So now just waiting for new content, doing collection log stuff.
Hell yeah, dude. All right. And Sunshine, the new guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I just started at Corp. Okay, my first game name is Sunshine, and I started playing OS in 2013 on a newbie main. Um, I got a maxed that account, and I got into pet hunting, and I really got into efficient pet hunting, and so I used like a lot of alt methods, and that really burnt me out. So I made an iron sometime like right before COVID, and I put a lot of hours into COVID, and I didn't think I would enjoying iron that much, but I do. And right now, I'm ecstatic my account, and I'm just going for Grandmaster CA, pretty close, and pet hunting because I still like pet hunting.
Nice. How many CAs still Zakel now?
Uh, 11, but some are like really free.
Hell yeah,
Just
which
don't
ones
have a
are
good.
they?
Let's see. Let me go through them real fast. So
If
the
you got
hard
any
ones
Team
are
CM ones, you got Salii over here, so you're set.
yeah, I still need the 5 one. I got the perfect theater, the Toa speed, a couple of top speeds, and then uh 4 Inferno ones, and that's about it.
Nice, that's really close. And I didn't
Yeah,
know you were
hopefully
an
with
alter too, by the way. I thought I know
oh
Salii
no,
was
yeah,
into alting too.
I used a shit ton of alts when I was playing main.
Wait,
Um
define shit ton. Like, how many is shit
Okay,
ton?
not like I know some people do like 1 plus like 7. I was doing maybe like 1 plus 3, 1 plus 4. It's not like a ton, but like I went from like 1 plus 1 to 1 plus 2, and then I was like, oh, I can handle this, and then I just kept adding alts, and then eventually I'm just like, I don't really want to log in unless I'm like max F efficiency everything, and then that really burnt me out. So I was like, you know what, and my girlfriend, she made like an iron. Like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. I didn't want to make an iron because I didn't want to start over, but I think at that point, a lot of the Iron Man like kinks had been kind of worked out. So I was like, oh, and the OSRS guide. I definitely wouldn't have played Iron without that guide, even if it was just only for the early game, because I really didn't want to do all that questing over again.
It's interesting. I don't know that that guide actually was the reason why you made an iron. I never ended up using it. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I ended up using that guide like 3 times.
All right, cool. So a good introduction. So I guess we can go over as an overview for the rest of the topics for this episode. So we have quite a few topics here, and they're not organized really well, I could say. But essentially, it goes as follows. We have the Desert Treasure 2 prayers that were recently, I guess, I wouldn't say failed, just completely yeeted by Jadik. So we'd like to talk about that. We also have the four bosses coming from there. We also have maybe sailing. We can discuss about what we think about the new skill sailing and potentially other skills too, because I know some of us here preferred different skills. Also, power creep, the direction of power creep, where that's going with this game, and why we should be concerned. I also added here randomly just boosting in terms of like boosting CAs for combat achievements and also kits from like Toa. I wanted to talk about that if it's something that we should if something we should maybe consider removing or Jagex should maybe make a stance on. We also have a poll coming up for TOA quality of life. It's not up yet, but Jagex did mention that they will be adding that in poll 80, I believe. Also, bots, more specifically Wildy, Revs, and the solo bosses are horrible right now because of bots. I also want to touch base a little bit with Basiligus, who's the rank 1 clogger. He is one item from green logging all PVM section, which is really cool, so I'd like to talk about that. And lastly, challenge mode chambers. Salii here made a new Discord to help Iron Man find teams, and these teams are meant to be very efficient, so definitely much faster than we do raids, and a good alternative if you're looking to grind the 2k cape like me and Salii are. So without milking anymore, I guess we can jump straight into it. So the first question about Desert Treasure 2 prayers. So Salii, I know you have quite a lot more research than I do in this subject, so I'll let you kickstart the discussion.
Yeah, so obviously they scrapped the prayer book, which, you know, some people liked it, some people didn't. Some people had reasons why they liked it, and others why they didn't, right? But in the end, my general belief towards these prayers is the team did what they thought was right, and I feel like them making that decision was the right decision, right? Like, even though I wanted to see them in the game, or at least, some component of them, in the end, I trust the team, and if they don't think it's worth coming into the game and its current state, then I trust that decision. So I'm glad they made that decision, because that's how they felt, right? Like, it would have been bad if they would have been forced into the game, but they can always retune it. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that Reddit post of the God alignment. It's like an extension to the current prayer book rather than just an entirely new prayer book. That got a lot of traction. I thought that was a really good compromise. So we'll see where it goes, but I hope they come in one day, because they definitely fixed a lot of problems. Like, I know I was watching like Rasta Man do solo CM with them, and he was saying how he doesn't have to reset Tecton hundreds of times, because the that intensify prayer, the one that gives you giga accuracy, I mean, it just solved solo CMs, right? And I mean, that would solve a lot of problems that we see nowadays, mainly with like D-Warhammer specking or missing ZCBs or something. So I mean, they had like a lot of good parts to it that solved a lot of issues, but in the end, I'm glad the team made the decision that they think's best, rather than leaving it up to the player base to decide.
Yeah, I was honestly surprised that they took that matter in their own hands. I didn't expect Jagex to do a decision like that, even though I fully respect it, by the way. And I wouldn't say that I'm against it, nor for the new prayers. I was kind of just on the
Yeah,
sidelines watching, and I was definitely adjusting my playstyle accordingly. Like we discussed a lot, me and you, Salii, about pushing back other content to wait for prayers. But now that
yeah,
the
definitely.
prayers are pushed back or canceled, who knows? It definitely shifted back our goals. But I'm proud of Jagex for doing that, and I hope they do more decisions like that in the future. I think it's kind of sad that everything, and this comes back to the polling system, which we could add in our discussion too. Like the player base wants to control everything, which I don't think is healthy necessarily. I think Jagex should have a final say. And yeah, how about Sunshine? What do you think about this?
Right, I also did see the Reddit post with the god alignments. I had like a kind of a very similar idea. But a lot of people, wanted to see higher level prayers past 77 on the regular prayer book as well. In the end, either, god alignments or adding prayers to the regular spell book, that's a direct buff. Not that like I have any problem with that, but it's just to point out. But yeah, I do understand like kind of Jagex's like frustration or difficulty of this, like adding a new prayer book. Because a lot of people think that, or a lot of people want like a niche prayer book that you might not want to use for every situation. Kind of comparing that to like our current spell book, where you have ancients, where you have when you want to use like AoE spells, or if you're like PKing in Deep Worldy, and you got your normal spell book for like scaling, and you got your Alks, you got Teleblock, and then Arceus for thralls when you need the DPS, and then Lunars for just vengeance and spellbook swap. So, but the kind of fallacy for the comparison to the spellbooks is you can pretty much do every piece of content on RuneScape without any spells. um, I know obviously there are some that you absolutely need them, like for Maiden in Theater of Blood, but for like Toa or Cox, you really don't need to cast any spells to do it. Whereas for prayers, protect from melee, like protection prayers and boost prayers, those are absolutely like necessary. So if you just kind of add them into like a separate spell book or prayer book, then it'll become like they'll feel too similar. But if you don't have them, then a lot of the content is just borderline impossible. So I do understand like it's like a very difficult task to like um take to just design a completely different spell book that or prayer book. I keep mixing them up, that you could use for one situation, but maybe not the other, because a lot of RuneScape just relies on having protection prayers and your three boost prayers and three protection prayers.
Yeah, I think the other issue too is that Jax is trying to balance it, like you mentioned. But the issue is that we have one side of Reddit saying it's not powerful, and then one side of the high level community saying it's too powerful. And it's hard for Jax to balance it out because obviously they want to listen to everyone, but that's just not possible. And I think in the final form before they decided to cancel it, the prayers were definitely strong and meta changing for sure. Meta changing is a bad word actually. Powerful, I would say. The meta stays the same, but you just kill everything faster.
Yeah, yeah. You just use the new prayers, but all the tech is the same pretty much.
Yeah,
Maybe
nothing
like a
changes.
something changes here and there, right?
Right.
Like maybe you'll
And
ditch ink for Torva because you have Intensify.
That's
That's about
true,
it,
right.
right?
but it's not like you're gonna be killing Maiden in a different way. It's not
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's not like
changes.
very innovative. No, I was thinking, instead of having like the three boost prayers, like what were they called? Decimate, vaporize, and whatever the other one was. They could just, I mean, I thought they could just make the four vows just the kind of the main star of the show there. So for example, I thought it would be a cool idea if they just had the four vows and then you could just kind of switch between them freely, but they didn't cost any like prayer points to have them active. You can have one active at a time, but you wouldn't, it wouldn't cost any prayer, and it would kind of be like change how you would play. So for example, Fumus, isn't that the shadow one? Correct me if I'm wrong, but if like pretend if you had that active, uh, if you didn't move in the past like I don't know 4 ticks or something, then you would have a passive 50% like accuracy bonus. So it would kind of like incentivize you to not move, or you would use it when you don't have to like move that much. Or like the blood vow, you could, I don't know, just for example, if you have it active, then you could like every time you hit the same enemy, you would gain like blood stacks or something like that, and then that would either give you like life steal after you get like a certain amount of blood stacks, or it would make you attack faster. I feel like that would be a little bit more situational, rather than just have giving like the spell book another, sorry, prayer book another like flat stat boost. Uh, same like which is very identical to the prayer book that we have right now. It doesn't really like change how you play.
It's just like each prayer option has a different ability that's unique, and then you have to pick which one you prefer, basically.
Right, and then maybe there's like a I don't know, like a 5 or 10 second cooldown before you can activate like the other one, another one, like change them.
So you're just looking for something that maybe you do less DPS if you don't use them correctly, but if you like use them correctly, it drastically changes how you play.
Right,
Or
like
yeah, I gotcha.
yeah, so like maybe at Sodaseg you would have that prayer that would, since you don't really move at Sodaseg, you would have that, the shadow one where you don't move, and then maybe, like when you're doing Verzik, you wouldn't have that one on because you're moving a lot. Anyways, yeah, that was just my kind of idea.
Or you'd have it
If
on
they,
in like P3 Verzik, and you'd have one person tanking that would turn it off, and would like tank perfectly, and everyone else would stand still DPSing.
right.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. You're right.
Okay, it's an interesting idea. I didn't understand what the Reddit post was. I didn't read it, so I don't know what it was. But what was the
Yeah,
general idea behind it?
I'll link it to you, but the general idea is I don't know how many gods we have. Like let's say like 8. Like you got the God Wars bosses, Sarens, Zeros. Uh, what's the one that the Song of the Elves, the Crystal?
Saren,
Oh yeah,
Saren.
that is Saren in it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically you have these like let's say 6 different gods, and they each have like you can if you look at your like prayer book, you can imagine like like 3 prayers at the bottom, right? Just just in the middle, and based on the god you're aligned with is the special prayers you get. Like Zami was deep, like it was DPS. It was the 3 DPS prayers, and then you had like Saren, which were skilling prayers. So people that wanted skilling prayers can get skilling prayers. And people that don't care really,
And how do you change
doesn't
them? Do you
matter.
have to like talk to an NPC or something, or
I mean, the post. I mean,
they didn't go
it was
into that
just an
much detail?
idea, right?
Okay,
So the post would be like, pray at an altar or something, right?
but then you'd have
Um,
to have like imagine there's 6 gods. You'd have to have 6 different combinations, and you'd have to
we,
make
we,
sure they're all somewhat balanced so that there's not a few of them that are dead content.
yeah, some of them were balanced. Like one had the intensify on it, one had the rebuke on it, one had the metabolize on it. Um, one had like the vowels on it. So like you can imagine intensify with the 40% accuracy, and then it had glacies and cruer, the one that reduced defense and magic defense, and they those were the 3, like let's just say bandos. I don't know which god it was, and those are like the 3 bandos prayers. So you can imagine in like a Tob or something, you might have one guy bring in the bandos prayers with all the defense reduction and all the accuracy for hammers or whatever, and then you have the other guy that just doesn't bring a hammer and brings Void Waker or claws, and they're on the
The DPS one.
Zamrock. Yeah, the DPS one, the Zamrock one. So you could see like roles start to develop a little bit. But overall, I thought it was a fantastic idea. That way, like if you're at solo CMs or something and you need the extra accuracy, you can go bandos. But if you're in a 5-man and the odds of 0 defensing everything is pretty high, you can all go Zammy, right?
Right. I did like that one. Because for like a lot of content on in RuneScape, everything's just kind of solved. Like you can't just be like, hey, what if I use a saying instead of my shadow? Like that'd be really stupid. Whereas like for these prayers, you could be like, hey, today I want to run it like a Bandos CM or like a Zami prayers CM.
Yeah, depending if you want to go for speeds or if you want to go for consistency and so on.
Right.
Yeah, because even though the Zammy one is like more potential, and I might do like a 28-minute. Obviously, I can't do this. Don't think I'm that skilled enough to do a 28-minute CM. But like, I might be able to do 28 minutes on Zammy, but then I can do like 30 minutes on Bandos.
But don't
But
have
I
to
never have to
reset.
reset Tecton.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just never reset because I hit every hammer almost.
So for money raids, you do bandos, but then for speedruns, you do Zami.
Yeah, or if I was a team, the math, you'd have to do the math on it, but I might sit on the DPS ones. And we might have one guy who, like, let's say I'm raiding with one main and two irons, right? Then the main could go uh the defense reduction ones, and then the irons could go the DPS one or whatever. And you can kind of have like more roles in PVM rather than everyone do the exact same thing. Uh,
Yeah, that's one
and
thing
just
that the new
yeah,
content doesn't have rules. Tob has that, which is really cool, but even Toa, like, what role would you want to do? All butterfly? That's about it.
yeah.
There's
I
nothing
mean,
else.
yeah, CMs kind of have it. They have it to, but then again, CMs is also like what 7 years old, 6 years old. Like it's
Yeah, that's true.
but then again, so is Tob. I think it came out like 5 months right before Tob or something, 3 months maybe. So the CMs kind of has roles. Tob obviously has roles, but I don't think anything else really has roles except for maybe like
God
alt
Wars.
methods or something.
Yeah, God Wars, I'm tanking.
Yeah,
Good chat. That was an interesting topic.
yeah. I'll link that Reddit post to you. It's actually really good. And Mod Kieran responded to it and said, he loves the idea and he'll favorite it and he'll like stash it away and talk with the team and maybe bring it out later. But obviously, like it's shelved, right? Like who knows when it'll come in, if it'll ever come in. So
Dude, I just gotta
Right.
give a shout out. Mod Kieran, GOAT. Freaking beast,
Yeah.
dude.
Another reason I kind of like that concept is it's kind of like a slow drip. If you're like a new player or like a returning player and you unlock the prayer book, you're like, okay, you have to sit down and then read what everything does exactly. And then if you're not sure you understand, you got to go to the wiki. Whereas if you just, unlock two or three prayers at a time, then it's just like a very slow build up and you don't have to feel so overwhelmed.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you unlock them through like bosses or something, and not just not like a quest that gives you the prayer book.
Right.
But I
There's
doubt
just
they would do that. So
yeah, there's more like progression, it feels like.
all right, cool. You want to talk about the bosses now for Desert Treasure 2?
sure.
So there's 4 new bosses, and I don't. They haven't released a date yet, which I hope they release it, because I hope it doesn't fall in line on top of our bingos or something, because that would ruin it. But yeah, I think it's so in terms of 4 bosses. I think it's a little weird that we're getting 4 bosses all at once, all different. And I don't. Did they say if they're all gonna each boss is gonna have their own pet?
They have not, no.
Because that would be like, gee, that's kind of rough, dude. If you think about it.
Yeah, that would be.
Uh, okay, so I don't know how we want to split this. You want to talk about the bosses first or the rewards after?
We can talk about the bosses first. So I think having 4 bosses from a Grandmaster quest, I'm kind of afraid because they said it's quote I'm estimating the quote, right? Like it's not a direct quote, but they basically said that these are shaping up to be the hardest post quest bosses to ever come into the game. And I'm just really afraid of how they're phrasing it, because I'm not afraid I'm not going to be able to do it. What I'm afraid of is they're going to be like dog, right? Like Muspa came out, and let's be real, dude. No one likes Muspa. Like
Dude,
you
that's
don't
not
see
true. Half
people.
my Twitch chat likes Musfa, dude. I'm telling you,
There ain't no way.
dude. I
I don't
shit
believe
you
it.
not. A lot of people like it, and I don't know why. Because I'm with you. I hate that boss. It's so bad.
It's so boring. If I was a main, I might like it because I could have alts like spec transfer me and heal other me. But like as an Iron Man, that boss is so dog. Like having to run. Well, number one, having to mine the salt or whatever it is, the basalt. I
Dude,
see basalt.
POH best in slot, dude. Come on.
Or even like loading the POH, like just demotivates me every time I like have to load it in. It's like fuck, this takes forever.
They
But
did say in the Sebe cast with Matsui and Aiza, they did say that the boss mechanics are unique, and I don't remember the exact wording, but they seemed very excited for it.
which So even though I'm afraid of the difficulty and how they phrase it or whatnot, or how people react to it, one thing that I absolutely love is with Muspa specifically too, because I don't know about the DT2 bosses yet, is these new mechanics like that atomic bomb that Muspa does. You have to hide behind the stalagmites. Even though the stalagmites I think needs to be fixed a little bit. Um, I love having more and more mechanics because you can imagine like the way I see PVM is every single boss is valuable in its own sense that it teaches you like a mechanic to a degree, right? Like sure, I mean crazy archaeologist, not really, right? Um, but
But like
you have
CG pathing.
yeah, and you have bosses like Vorkath, very easy boss to do, right? Botted to oblivion, right? It teaches you to Wooks walk that you can take to corrupted gauntlet, right? So I feel like the PVM mechanics are really awesome. And so if they say they're unique mechanics, then that makes me excited because I get to experience these new mechanics and it'll ultimately just help me um, in all parts of the game. I think, God, I think it was Zulu. He was also saying how, back when like the Grandmaster combat achievements had like high KC requirements that's been nerfed since. Um, a lot of people that were in support of it was basically saying like actually killing the boss and getting KC, even though it doesn't mean you're good, just experiencing the mechanics really does improve like your PVM ability. So I'm really excited to see new mechanics and to learn something
Yeah,
and get
I'm
better at
excited
it.
too. I'm just scared of four bosses at once. There was a guy in the clock Discord, okay, thanks, bye. He said it would be cool if they released like one boss a week for a month. That way we slowly get to experience the bosses. I think that's a cool idea, but it'll take too long.
Yeah,
I could imagine that could kind of be like hyped up by something along the lines of like a summoning ritual to bring them back or something, and you could imagine like a big countdown type timer. Obviously, it wouldn't be in English, right? It would be in some whatever ancient writing Zeros does. Um, Basically, like until the door unlocks and you can go and kill the new boss. I'd be okay with that. That sounds kind of cool.
yeah, I think that would work as well. If we just did like one boss every week or something like that.
It would also milk the content a little bit for Jagex to have more time
Yeah,
to
sure.
prepare future content.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'd also be okay if they just tied them all in together. Like if it was like a demi raid, you just go in. Uh,
Like if they shared like kind of like Calvarion and Vedion, like they shared the same like log section, kind of that one
no, I
pet
meant
and all that.
Like if
like
you
a
just had to fight them like consecutively.
Oh, like a
like
raid.
imagine
I see. Okay.
yeah, or imagine if how they want to make everything scalable now, so like lower level people can get in it. What if you could do like one of them at a time, super easy. Two of them at a time, or you can do all four at a time, and you can
At a time, like at
have
the same time, or as in like back to back to back to back.
yeah have like all four together. Maybe they take turns attacking or something. You can imagine like triple Jads, but
And you take
with
like
four
you
bosses.
fight one, get it to a quarter health, then the other one starts attacking you, and you have to like switch gears. Dude, that looks rough, dude.
Yeah, obviously, like they wouldn't nuke you all four at a time, right? Like,
But that would be a cool concept. But I personally think I would not enjoy that.
well, then again, like it would buff the loot potential too. So like it's like what's that boss everyone talks about in
Yeah, the one
RS3?
in
That Brago.
Zera. I don't remember the name. Shit.
Yeah, the whatever RS3 boss where you can just up the enraged or whatever it is to give you like more loot. That'd be kind of cool. I'm just I just don't really want to greenlog four separate bosses that all have 1 in 5k pets that are 3 minutes to kill each.
Surely they
Hmm.
don't do
Those,
1 in 5K. I think those days are over.
Hopefully.
yeah, those all like the God Wars bosses, dog shit,
Yeah, that's my
rock
biggest
rate.
fear. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't have a single God Wars,
Yeah, me
and I
neither,
think I have
dude.
like over, I think I have like over 10K combined account KC.
It's so rare, and I do not want to grind those ever. Honestly, that just does not look fun. Like imagine going dry for Sarah Pet. Like you have to kill 15,000 Sarah. Just kill me, dude. I don't want to do that.
The
Yeah.
ace part is like it takes 30 seconds to kill it, and then like a
A
minute
minute
and a
30 of
half of
AFKing.
just not doing anything.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting chat on the bosses. I guess we'll just have to see. And hopefully in like a few months we can do another podcast where we talk about how we enjoyed the bosses or
They're
how
they're
we
really
hated it.
they're
Yeah.
really not leaking any info other than one is probably like most likely weak to slash. At least one.
They actually see that, or is people just speculating?
I would be very surprised if like at least one isn't weak to slash.
Because I saw the scythe is rising in price quite a bit. I would not be surprised too, because it does give a use to the scythe.
Also, I don't know, maybe the harmonized they would use the harmonized staff for the ice boss. Because right now the only thing is Ice Demon, you would ever use that item.
And even then, one person in the raid brings it.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I guess we can move on to. Do we want to touch on sailing or power creep? I think this goes well into
What
power creep, so.
what about the DT2 rewards?
Oh
'Cause
shit, I
they got the
forgot.
yeah, they got
Damn.
the reward blog out.
Alright, so let's just recap the rewards first and we can talk about it. So there
Do you have
was
it pulled up?
4 rings. Did they scrap the axe or are they leaving the axe in?
No, I
The
think we're
axe,
still getting the axe.
yeah,
Is that the only rewards we have? The axe and the 4 rings?
Virtus
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
the
shit,
food
I forgot
upgrade.
Virtus. Damn it, dude, I'm so cooked. So Virtus, the axe, the 4 rings,
Scepter upgrades, I think.
scepter upgrades.
Yeah, the ancient scepter you get from Muspa, you know,
Oh, you can upgrade
add the
that.
icon to it. Yeah, there's like let me just double check to make sure. Yeah, ancient scepter upgrades. You can add like a jewel to it to buff ancient magics with the ancient scepter.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know about that one. And I think they said 1 ring is gonna have 12 strength bonus. 1 ring is gonna have some accuracy and a little bit of strength bonus. 1 ring for mage. It's gonna give a bit of mage damage. What's the 4th ring?
Range strength.
Range.
Oh, range
Yeah.
strength too. Cool. I wonder how that's gonna fare compared to the light bearer though,
It's hard to
Yeah.
replace light bearer.
because I don't know how much DPS you'd have to add on the ring for it to outmatch the light bearer.
I could imagine, um, like just in CMs, for example, um, having the light bearer for threes and for solo is probably the play.
And
And
then
I could
fives, you'd
imagine,
split it up. Like the person doing melee hand would bring the B ring upgrade.
yeah, like maybe the two people in ink would bring light bearer so that they can like land hammers, and then the people in Torva would bring the new ring for BGS, and they don't really need as much spec because you zero it so often because you have 5 people in there. So I could see it
Interesting.
mixed.
That would be cool then. That's cool.
And then for Theater of Blood, obviously,
Just be
new ring.
the new ring the whole time.
And then TOA.
Right.
I don't know about TOA.
I would assume the mage ring because you shadow Akka and almost all the wardens.
Yeah, but you hit the so it's 2 mage strength, and it's since mage strength is quadrupled in TOA with the shadow, you actually hit the mage strength cap for the multiplier. So it's more like it's a 1 strength bonus ring. Mage strength.
So you get 1 max hit. That's it.
You get a couple because I think with all the gear you land on. So the shadow will triple your mage strength until you hit 100% extra, and then it's just face value at that point, right? So when we're at 25% base in TOA and it gets quadrupled to 100, every additional max or every additional mage strength is just +1,
I
right?
didn't know they capped it. That's interesting. So
Yeah,
it
it's
gets
capped at
capped by new
100.
gear.
Yeah, so that we're at 24 right now. And so that new ring will put us at 26. So the 25 will be quadrupled, and then we'll get a +1.
So we get 5% from the shadow instead of 8%.
Yep.
Bruh.
Actually, let me double check. You get 6% from ancestral, 10 from
10,
occult,
5 for Torm,
so that's 15,
2 for the
21,
cape,
23.
2, 4, 14, 16, 18,
Is full ancestral?
23. Yeah, it's 23.
Oh shit. Okay. Never mind. Let me go back to the lab on that one.
Alright, we'll do a rain check next podcast episode. In like
Maybe
2
it is
months.
super good.
I mean, I
just don't
remember
know
someone
about
else
the-
telling me what you said, Salii, so surely like someone else
That
smarter
would
than
cap?
us did the calcs.
Here, let me just put it on right now.
Oh
Even
yeah,
like 20. Yeah, no, it wouldn't cap.
23 because you don't get any from the staff. So I guess that would cap it at 25% for 100. Yeah, so I could definitely see the new rings being used for
Damn,
sure.
you get fact checked.
Wait, what?
Maybe people were like talking about like with the new cape from Tuscal Trials that they teased so long ago, but will probably never come out with, to be honest. But
Yeah, people keep talking about that, but I don't think it's gonna come out.
yeah, so it's looking like that ring's gonna be really good. Mage one.
I just don't understand the point of the slash one. Like why would you ever use that one?
You'll use it at places where like you want to scythe and the monster has high defense, but like at that point, just bring a rapier or something else, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, cause
Or Fang.
I
Yeah, or
calculated
Fang.
it on Verzik, and it's just not even better than the strength one. I mean, it's a
Really?
little bit. It's like barely any better on P2, and
Yeah,
then
because P2 has
everywhere
higher
else is
defense and
slightly
that's
better.
it.
Yeah, it's like very slightly better.
It'd be good for arc lighting corp down.
Don't you
True.
need? Yeah.
Although
Isn't
do
that
you
stab?
no, it's slash. There's an accurate slash in the arc light.
Oh. Oh yeah, because it depends on what style you're set
Yeah.
to.
I know because I used Warrior Ring with my setup. Hopefully I got the right setup.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you use stab on Arclight for like all the monsters because fucking
Yeah,
weird.
you use it on like Abyssal Demon, I think. Serb. Someone said use it on
Serb,
Serb.
Sire. Those are the only two in my head.
I think you slash corp. But I mean that's about the only thing I can imagine you use it on for arc light specs. And corp's the only thing you spec down right now.
Yeah, it feels kind of pointless unless maybe you would, I don't know, one of the new bosses would be like weak to slash, and then one of them would be weak to slash but like way higher defense. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it might be Biss at one of the bosses. I'm sure they have a DPS calc there, putting stuff in or asking, people in the HLC to, do the numbers. But then again, like, I just can't imagine, a 12 accuracy ring being so much better than a 12 strength ring or, 8 more strength bonus.
Why is Moavro saying Buddy completed green log every single boss? Did he just finish Nightmare, Domas?
Yeah, you finished it like 2 hours ago, bro.
Bro, I didn't know.
Yeah, that's
Really?
why I brought him up.
Oh shit. Oh, that's so cool, dude. I didn't see
Oh,
it.
he got the mace.
Yeah, like 35 something Basanis.
Yeah, 3784 Fasanis. He got the mace.
Ooh, 37.
Jesus, dude, I didn't know he got it.
Now we can finally play the game.
Now he can finally do raids all day and wait for content.
And then, so getting back on the DT2 rewards, Virtus is supposed to be like really good barraging, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be slightly better for barraging. Probably just Barrage Slayer you'd use it.
Yeah, like 4% magic damage on ancient magics for all pieces. And so like if you're on task barraging,
That's pretty good on task, yeah.
yeah, that's huge actually. I mean, sure, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's a good niche because it doesn't actually replace Ancestral. And if they make the robes easier to get, that'll be nicer for like mid levels because they don't have to
Yeah,
splurge crazy amounts of money for Ancestral.
yeah, or like lower level irons who are going for 99 Slayer. I remember back in the day just barraging in like monk's robes and
Yeah,
like
me
shit.
too.
So I
Good
mean, it'll be
days.
good for them, but like it's whatever.
It might be good for top too. You don't want our chin.
Maybe, but I feel like the damage percent you would rather have
The Nilos.
on Nilos, yeah. So it doesn't account for like powered staves. And like you're
Yeah,
relying on the tenor mostly to do most of the stack damage.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be worth unless you're doing like Iron Man raids or something niche.
And I'm sure Iron Man will like it. They'll bring it in for sure. And then the Soul Reaper axe. I don't know, dude.
I don't know about that. I
So
used it in the beta, but I was like, when am I supposed to be like hitting with this?
I think it might be good for like AFK auto retaliate Slayer that like maybe I mean that's the only like fit I can find out for it. Like if I'm at Dagonoths or something, I might just swing it and just AFK. Or if I'm at like Dark Beasts, might swing it. But I don't really see like a use for it. But maybe there's like 200 IQ people that have already like discovered that this is better than Scythe at like 10 places. I don't know.
Oh, you mean the new axe? Sorry, I was reading
Yeah, the
a.
Soul Tracks.
Yeah, I was reading on another Discord when they released the idea that it was better than it was like under Scythe for top most places, but that doesn't account for like having to stack it up and you'd lose your stacks running between rooms. So like
True.
it's probably good for like people that don't have max, like a good alternative, kind of like a Fang.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe if you're like doing like 3+12 chambers on the melee hand as an iron, you can use it. But then again, you got Dragon Hunter Lance, right? So
Yeah, I don't know how
I
much
don't
higher
know.
fares compared to Lance though. It's different.
It'll be interesting to see.
Well, I think it's cool. It's a nice little niche. I'm sure someone's gonna figure a good use for it, like at a certain boss, where like the respawn
Yeah,
timer of the boss is less than the amount of time you lose the stacks, so you always get the max hits.
Like Giant Mole or something, but
I don't think it'll work Giant Mole because when he digs,
yeah,
you're screwed.
probably lose it.
Probably
Yeah,
like Thermi or something like that.
yeah, maybe Thermi. Yeah, but I'm also not a huge fan of having a lot of um buffs that last for a certain amount of time and then disappearing or disappearing if you remove items. So like if you remove, like you have 10 seconds to swing again, or if you remove the axe and put on like a blowpipe, let's say, you also lose it.
So you'd be
And I'm
forced to
not
camp it on like Nilo Room and so on. So
yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. I feel like that's like one of the downsides of light bearer is if I want to bring a light bearer, I have to micromanage my spec regeneration to know when to, put it on or keep it off for a couple more hits. And I hate that.
yeah, that's
And
why
so
you
I feel
just
like
camp the light bearer.
so I just can't light bear because it's like way easier.
But at the same time, if they didn't do that, it would be like imagine doing Tob and having to flick light bearer the tick before your spec resets
Yeah,
all the
you
time.
would you
Like,
would
dude,
you would feel
no,
forced.
I would
Yeah.
not want to do that.
So, but then again, they could also make it like super small to where like it'll start regenning, but if you put on something else within 4 ticks, you lose what you just gained. You know what I mean? Like a way to stop people from flicking it on and off, but
Or
make
you
it to
make it
where
so it actually regens twice and it doesn't reset the. That's it. That's all they would have to do. But I think they're it's coded differently, so they can't do that.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like if you don't get like 2 charges of your spec, like I don't know if you about you guys, but I got the little spec orb
Yeah,
that I
you see
see.
the orb charging.
Yeah, so like
When it regenerates.
so if it doesn't regenerate twice, you lose it. And all that does is stop people from putting on a B ring, swinging, and then putting on the light bearer, right? And then the final thing we got is the scepter upgrades, but I think those are pretty trash, except for the shadow one, or not the shadow one, the ice
The
barrage
blood one?
one.
Oh, what did that do?
It just gives you more accuracy on unfrozen targets, so it's going to be like more aids to get away from PvPers that just continuously
Ugh,
freeze you in like
bro,
Rev
really?
Cave.
They're adding that?
Yeah, you get 10% accuracy on unfrozen, freezable targets. So you can imagine like being at Revs and someone runs up with one of those things and they just never splash.
Yeah, it lowers the chances of them splashing.
It's
Lovely.
only 10%.
Still, dude, they've been getting so many upgrades to PKing community that honestly, like,
Yeah, like Voidwaker.
yeah, it's a good example. Also, I want to say it, dude. Like, the fact that when you do revs and you're fighting a rev, there's a 2 second delay on teleporting out is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah,
So
Reddit was
stupid.
pretty angry about that. But rightfully so, right?
Yeah, it kind of also it screws up when you click it, and then if there's
Yeah,
like a projectile
it
heading your
resets
way,
it.
like like the Dark Beast or whatever, you just have to do it again, and you can't like spam click.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all. It's actually really triggering me at revs. Because, like, the PKers literally get 2 to 3 TB chances on you. They splash the first one, you can't even tell you out. You have to try to hope he splashes the second one. And the only reason why they added that is because bots were one tick teleporting, which is lovely.
I think a better solution would have been lock the Rev Cave behind Wilderness Hards or
Dude, you would
Wilderness Meds, whatever.
that would solve the issue for. I mean, I
It
don't
wouldn't
know.
solve it, but
It'll
it'd
help
be
for
a better
sure.
it'd be a better approach than having this like teleport timer for sure.
They should lock the single bosses to like
Yeah, that too.
something, or at least like, guys. I know they can't. Like, that's another topic. We can jump on it actually. Bots. They just have to find a way to solve the bot issue. Because
And I
right
think
now it's so bad, dude. Revs are horrible right now, and single wildy bosses are. Oh, it's just not even fun.
I think the issue with bots isn't like necessarily how many there are, but I think the issue with bots is where they are. Like if there are anglerfish bots, my personal opinion, I think that's good. It keeps the price of anglerfish low. Even dragon bones, they keep dragon bones low. They if for the broader, I think Mod Matt K also mentioned this on a podcast he was on. If it keeps the price of skilling supplies or like PVM supplies down, generally it's a pretty good bot. But then you have bots that do CG, revs, Woody bosses that destroy the like Void Waker price. That's a bad bot, right? And
Yeah, and
so
also affect real players trying to PVM.
yeah, but like I think the RuneScape as a game has moved away from like AFK fishing all day or like PvP at Castle Wars. They've moved away from that into in-game PVM or getting there, learning to get there. And so, having bots that totally destroy the anglerfish market, I don't think is terrible, right? It's when bots destroy the PVM market, it becomes terrible because then it affects, so many people. I don't want to say everyone, but the majority of people PVM nowadays compared to skilling or PvP. So I think their problem is where they're at. And for the like wilderness demi bosses, I'm surprised they haven't hopped on it yet, because it's every single world. And, you can't even PvP them because the second you click on them, they teleport. So you can't I don't know if you can TB them or not, but
I don't
you
think you
know,
can. I think unless you, I don't even think you can actually.
because like the second you throw a TB, they're instantly gone.
Yeah, and they
So
tell you out if you're in your combat range and you're scold. If you're not in the combat range, you don't even teleport. They stay.
yeah, which is like super cancer. And if you're like actually killing the boss yourself,
It's
they
horrible.
will they'll
They'll
attack the
crash.
boss. Yeah.
Like what I do now is I hop. I don't even check if the world's empty or not. I don't peek. I just enter. If I see a bot, I try to spam click the boss and get pid. Because if I
Yeah,
get
that's
pid,
what
they
I've
tell
been
you out.
doing.
But it's like I shouldn't have to do that. That's so stupid. Like
Yeah, and that's an example of a bad bot, right? And
yes, and revs are even worse, dude. It's either
yeah, revs
bots or
too.
gold farmers that just full on rag you and don't give a shit about you whatsoever.
Yeah, and all they have to do is put, you know, a higher barrier to entry, like wilderness beds, wilderness hards, and that would drastically cut down the number, right? Because the bots that are at the demi bosses in the wilderness, you can probably I don't know the efficiency of the bots, but you can probably make a bot that can do it within like 40 hours, right? Like
Oh, way less. Yeah, all you need is like an Avas.
You don't even need any of us,
for
bro.
revs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
and then
revs.
for like the
And maybe
woody
like,
bosses, you do like 5 quests that give you combat XP, and then you go train for at like sand crabs for
For
10 hours.
mace, and that's it.
Yeah, and you're good. And you got a cudgel. And so depending on the efficiency, it's like so little time for the bot detection system to actually detect them, they get through, right? Obviously there is the like corner cases to where they get through with 20k kills, right? But
Yeah, but
I
that's another story, though.
yeah, but I think the vast majority do get banned, but the problem is they just get replaced within 2 days. It's already at this exact same spot with the exact same stats. And
I don't
so
know.
if they
I
just
see a lot of them with like over 3,000 kills.
yeah, but you also see a lot of them with like sub 1k kills, right? Because
Yeah, I guess they do get cycled, but uh, it's a hard problem to solve, and I know that Jagged's been saying that they have a long term fix for it, but that's not how like business works. You can't just have a long term fix for everything. You need a short term fix and a long term fix.
yeah,
But
but then again, if they also nuked bots right now, LMS
yeah, you could
for
do
irons
LMS
at
anymore.
least would be borderline impossible, right? Like I couldn't imagine winning 1,000 games legitly as an Iron Man, right? Like you can boost as a main, but it just I couldn't fathom it unless you got really good at PvP really fast.
uh, it's a hard problem to crack, and I hope they can at least address like they do like a Pareto and they analyze what the worst offenders are, and then they just prioritize those bots, like
Yeah.
Wildy, Revs, fix that shit, and then there's also the high end PVM, like the next box Fasani bots and all that. They need to fix that too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
right, what do you think about when they said they kind of cranked up their bot detection to like 11, and then a lot of people said they got false banned
Yeah, that's
on Reddit. What do you guys think about that? Because I mean, I saw some people were saying, oh, it's because Jagex kind of like changed what they were doing, and they just, cranked up the bot detection really high, and then, ended up with a ton of false positives. Some people were saying how it was just a bunch of botters, and they were just kind of trying to hop onto the plane or hop onto the bandwagon to try to get their accounts unbanned. Some people had like screenshots of like Discord servers with botting saying, "Hey, mod, whoever it was, mod Twisted was unbanning people on this Reddit thread. Go put your RSN and see if he unbans you." And apparently, there were some people who got unbanned even though they were botting.
yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that. That's funny as hell, dude.
I think they rolled back all the bans from like I think it was like an 8-hour time frame that the detection system wasn't detecting very accurately. And so I think they just did a mass rollback because they saw how many legit players were affected. Um, but I mean, I tweeted Ash trying to pitch a suggestion, and I know this isn't like a perfect idea, but one idea was like, if an account has 200 days or more played, it requires a manual review. Like it can't be auto, nuked, right?
Yeah, I thought about that too. Um, if you just have like a lot of hours played, somebody has
Two
to at
hundred
least
days feels like
take
a
a look
lot
at it.
though. Should
Yeah,
lower
it
that a
does.
bit. But
Sure,
it's a good
maybe
idea though. I definitely agree with that.
yeah, I don't know the number it would be, but that's just an idea, right?
Well, all they would have to do is look at the average playtime and then take like the top 1% and then set that up as the threshold, or top
Or maybe
5%.
maybe 10% even. I don't know what that number is, but
Yeah, I mean they have the numbers.
You have to do the data
Um,
crunching.
but it's just,
well,
yeah, if there's like a, like a 40-day played account and they've been playing since they made the account like at least 12 hours a day, and they've only been doing like 80% of their time has been at like RDO, then, you know, it's most likely a bot.
Maybe it's someone like Sardio.
I don't know, dude. I saw so many RDO bots.
Yeah, me
They're
too.
100% bot because they all go to that one tile like north of the spawn, and they just sit there and try to sniper kill. And if they don't get it, they just leave or log out.
Yeah, it's all because of the RDO piece is the most expensive for the Void Waker, so
yeah.
heavily botted.
Yeah, I really wonder what like the price of these items would be if like it wasn't botted this heavily. Like Void Waker feels like it should be at least 200.
It's like 120 mil now. It's
It's
really
Yeah,
so
cheap.
cheap now.
it's going down really
It's
fast.
like barely more than claws.
It used to be a lot when Bounty Hunter came out, then now it's crashing. That's unfortunate because it is a
Yeah,
very powerful weapon.
yeah, claws is just so rare too, compared to Void Waker. Void Waker is like pretty accessible, give or take.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. Way easier to get than claws,
Oh yeah,
unless you
claws is
get
just
super lucky at chambers.
so rare, yeah.
And I would even argue Void Waker's basically better than claws. Where would you even use claws over Void Waker now?
Top
Is it better
CM,
than? Is it better at
well,
top?
CMs if you know prep. Oh yeah, the claws.
I thought
Yeah,
Void Waker is better in CMs now.
It depends on your role. Some people bring claws, some people bring Void Waker.
yeah. If you have a ZCB, then you can bring Void Waker. But I was trying to run them with like ZC or without a ZCB and Void Waker, and it feels kind of awkward.
Yeah, ZCB is way too strong, dude. Shout out ZCB.
Yeah, it's super strong, which I'm kind of okay with. It gave Irons like a good spec weapon relatively early, right? So,
Relatively early, bro.
but yeah, it's not like super early, but it's not like super late like claws.
No, I think it's a good. If it's a good, I don't know. I find it satisfying when you
It
hear
is a
the
very
re.
satisfying
It's
weapon
very
too. Yeah.
fun, and that's why I like it paired with Void Raker, because whenever a monster has high defense, just Void Raker spec, and then if it has low defense, you use ECB. Like for Toa, for example, use ECB everything except for Baba and Akka. All right, let's move on to the next question. You guys want to talk about power creep or sailing?
Say I mean we're on the like we're talking about some items, so might as well go on to power creep.
All right, so the direction of power creep. So of course, them canceling the prayers did help out for that. But what do you think the direction of power creep should like? What should we expect, and what should Jagex try to focus on to make sure it doesn't go to shit?
I'm totally fine with just like slight power creep. I mean, you need to add items into the game, uh, to retain players. I think what would help is, just taking a book or just like learning from other multiplayer online games where they do have, consistent power creep, is they add harder and harder bosses throughout the years so that, when we do have power creep like Bofa or something or Tomikins, the older bosses get more accessible, which is fine, but to make up for that, there's harder or more challenging content.
But it depends how you. What do you mean challenging? Do you mean add a shit ton of defense, or add a shit ton of health, or add complex mechanics? Like, how do
Could
you
be, yeah, it
combat
could be
power
all
creep?
of them. I feel like what they've been doing, or what um Jagex has been trying to do is to add like side grades. So like Fang or what do we have here?
Oh, side grades. Okay, I heard side raids, and I was like, what the
Yeah, side
what?
grades, like where you can kind of use like for example like light bearer, like it technically is power creep, but you have to use it in like a certain way. You can't just just AFK hit the boss, whether that be like by coordinating special attacks. It's just like harder to use, but if you use it correctly, then you'd be able to kill a harder boss, which I feel like Jagex hasn't been doing, like which is like adding harder bosses. But I think power creep, like if you do it well, um, it just makes the mid game, like it kind of shifts the bosses down. Like now any Billy Bobs can go to Mandos with a Fang, which is 30 mil, and they can just start poking away at it and get very consistent kills. Whereas before, you were just hitting it with a whip.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was hard. Yeah, like blowpipe was really OP, but they nerfed it.
I think the problem with Fang though is everyone can get it, generally speaking, and it's good everywhere. Like I don't think there's a place that Fang is bad at. Probably it might not be best in slot, right? But you can take Fang to CMs, you can take Fang to Tob, you can take Fang to obviously TOA, you can take it to all God Wars except, you know, well, I guess only Bandos really, because Amy want to arclight it, but just it made every single boss. Like I think it was a power creep in a bad way because it created one weapon to solve all the issues of anyone that didn't have many weapons. So like low level irons, like Fang is like, you know, way
It's too
overpowered.
versatile. I think that's what you
Right.
mean.
Yes,
I
too
feel like
versatile.
yeah, and that's another thing that I feel like Jagex could do is just they could just do weekly patches where they would, review items and they could just slightly tweak it, like they must have access to like a lot of data where, who uses what is using like who's using what weapon to kill each boss and what percentage of it. So for example, like the Black D'hide nerf, um, they could just like adjust it every like even month even, like not every single item in the game, but
Yeah,
if
but
everything
then
something like
again, that's an issue when you got weapons that take months. Like, what if they did that to Inquisitor's Mace? You know, and imagine a Basilogist was an Iron Man, spent 3,700 Fasani's Nightmare KC, got this mace, and then they nerf it in a week.
but I don't think it has to be like a huge nerf or anything, like for Fang, like what if you just take away 2 strength and give it like 5 more accuracy? Like it doesn't have to be like a huge nerf. Like just
Kind of like
tweak it
how
by
other games they do
like just
nerfs or like
yeah,
patches. Like League
just
of
like tweak
Legends does
it
that
like
often.
2% or something like that.
I mean, I'm okay with nerfing the Fang. It's just like weekly or monthly rebalancing of various items, I don't really agree with. I think that's pretty dangerous, pretty scary, as an Iron Man specifically.
Well, I don't think they're gonna rebalance anything anymore. I think
Yeah, I
they
mean,
got so much backlash with the blowpipe nerf, even though what they released today is way better than what the blowpipe was. But
true.
and I remember when they nerfed the blowpipe, they even said we're gonna be releasing range armor that's gonna compensate, and everyone was going apeshit for the blowpipe nerf.
Yeah,
I remember people complaining on Reddit about like Inferno being impossible now, and like, good times, dude.
yeah, that's funny. I'm glad they did it though, because grinding scales as an in-game iron, no thanks.
Yeah, I fully agree. It's shit's so shit. Oh shit, I just DC'd. Oh, okay, I'm back. Yeah, screw Zora, dude. Screw Zora scales.
Yep,
Sorry, I
protect.
said it. I'm sorry, Sunshine. I didn't mean to offend you.
Or blowpipe? Yeah, I mean, you barely use blowpipe now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like always under 10k Zora scales for the past like 2 years now.
Oh, I'm at like 70k.
yeah, I think that's good enough for a lifetime almost nowadays, which I'm
I don't know,
okay
it's a
with.
pretty chill boss. Like, you know what I do is every time I get like random food, sometimes you do like clue scrolls and you get like random swordfishes and shit. And there's that one clue where you have to make like a barbarian ranging pot. I just use all that random like shit at Zulrah.
So you pot
When I get
Zora with like freaking range mix,
yeah, yeah,
swordfish, and
yeah.
like
I get rid of
anchovy
that shit. Like,
pizza.
yeah, especially the anchovy. I had so many
That's
from
funny.
crazy whatever the heck thing. Yeah, I try to get rid of all that shit. Feels better than dropping them.
I don't know. I just stacked them. I like stacking shit in the bank. But
Like
that's a good
wild
point. That's actually
pies.
a good way to get motivation.
But yeah, that's what I think about power create. Like, I think it's okay if I don't know if they just add like more challenging bosses. And what you said, like, do I mean um like more stats or just complexity in general? I don't know. I feel like both is okay. Um, they haven't really added anything interesting recently. Like what have they added? They added like next, which isn't really mechanically interesting. I feel like Toa just like gave too much shit in general for how mechanically like not like mechanically lacking of a raid. Like literally every single drop was useful. So I feel like that's like an example of bad power creep.
I think too. I mean, it's one of the three major raids, so
Yeah, TOE had to have good items. Otherwise, I think Toa, the issue was, I mean, we spoke about this quite a bit often. I
it's
do
just
enjoy Toa now. I used to hate it. I like it now. I think drop rates were not fully considered.
yeah. I think the drop rates are what did POA in.
And I honestly think that if they didn't like, because do you remember when they released Toa, they didn't release the drop rates. People were saying like higher invocation is too shit, and then
Yeah,
everyone was
it's not worth
complaining.
the
And then Jagex
effort.
buffed drops for high invocations. I think when they did that, that's when they effed up because they made high invocations insane for purples, and then it just made people shut up purples and drop prices are dropping.
Yeah, like it's and then you go to like do CMs. If you do max 5-man CMs versus max 5-man TOAs, you get like double, maybe triple. I don't know the math,
And
right?
not
It's just
anymore. It used to be triple,
calculation.
but now it's like a little bit more because Toa
Yeah,
G
but
per
it's
hour crashed hard.
oh, not the GP an hour, but like the number of
Circles.
uniques an
Oh, the
hour.
number of uniques. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it's way more than it's.
So I don't know like the exact multiplier, but it's like 2 to 3 times
Yeah, it sounds
more
about
than
right.
CMs. and it's just ridiculous how many items come to the game. Mixed with, there might be like 7 5-man CM teams that are like, Giga Max F versus the, 30 or 40 Max F TOA teams that are out there.
There's not a lot of
And
max efficiency TOA teams, but it's very easy to get like a 8-man 400 sub 30 minutes. Like you don't need to be good for that. Everyone can bring a yellow Karis, and you can
yeah,
definitely
just,
get that. And then you get
you know,
55% purple chance.
TOA, even at like the higher invocations, like 400 to 500, were made for majority of people to complete. But then you have CMs to where like sure everyone can complete it, but it's so low drop rate and so few people can do it so fast that it just doesn't dump uniques into the game. And I mean same with chambers, right? Like normal chambers is like even worse. Normal chambers, I mean, I think it was like in a 4+1, it's like a 1 in 9 or something to see a drop.
Yeah, which really sucks. I actually really enjoy normal chambers.
Yeah, but it just feels so bad for uniques. But go do TOA. It's a 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's why
Yeah,
like when we were doing chambers and you do 2 raids, white chest, you're like, damn, where's my purple?
Yeah, and
Just
it
feels
made me
yeah,
spoiled.
spoiled too. Because now I go to CM or TOB, and it's like, dang, this is boring because I don't get any loot. So,
Yeah,
but I
that's
definitely think that's like the design flaw with TOA. Obviously, like the raid itself could be made a little bit more fun for
I think the
doing
raid
various.
overall is fun. I
Yeah,
a couple
I think it's
tweaks,
alright.
which actually that
But
kind of falls into one of our topics, which we can go towards the quality of life for Toa. So what would you like to see, and what do you think we're gonna get for that poll, and what do you think's gonna pass? I mean, everything's gonna pass. I mean, we can skip that question, but
so I think that for like quality of life or TOA, I think TOA in terms of quality of life is fine. Um, I think one thing would be an NPC or like some dialogue with a pre-existing NPC to where you can collect X number of ornament kits. Because like for example, I got 12 fangs in the bank, so I got 2 bank slots, one for the ornamented kit, one for the non-ornament kit, and I would rather just talk to an NPC and get all my ornament kits back. Or what if you're in the wilderness and you lose your gold and Avas, and instead of doing another 350 for the kit, you just talk to an NPC, get a kit back. I think that would be a nice quality of life. People say monkey room, but I'm not trying to like, be elitist or flame or nothing, but like when people say, "Oh, monkey room is 3 times longer than any other puzzle." I'm like, "Bro, monkey room is like a minute 50." Like
well, the
you're doing
problem with Monkey Room is it's fast if you have a good team, but if you're doing solos or you don't have a good team, it's slow as shit. Like solo Monkey Room is really bad. I agree with
even
that.
then it's like 215 to 230. Like it's not terrible. It's not
yeah.
fast, but
I can get like 230 consistently without chins and like solo 400, but you
yeah,
have to memorize like the spawns.
yeah, and I
Or
just
like
don't think
re-switch.
people like know Monkey Room well enough. Or it's not like night. You know how people like obsess over Nilo Room and
Yeah, it's
like
not the same obsession for.
yeah,
I
people just
I
don't
agree with
take it as
that.
seriously.
But it's
So I feel
because the
like
spawns are random, so there's not like you can't memorize a specific pattern. Like you can't equip your shadow and then have your cursor on a spawn and know for a fact that a meteor is gonna spawn there. It could
yeah,
spawn there, but you don't. Even if you know the rotations, it could spawn there, but there's no guarantee.
yeah, if they made it to where the spawns were static, I think that would fix the problem because the Monkey Room would be slightly faster for people that
That would
know
be kind of
exactly what
cool
they're
though.
doing.
I would find Monkey Room a lot more fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you would just know where to click.
Yeah, they should also remove, I mean, I think they should just remove the big giant statue in the middle. That's like the most annoying thing about the monkey room. If
Or
they did that, at least I would be happy.
at
If they
least
had
let you shoot
static
over it.
spawns, it wouldn't matter. You wouldn't have to run around the pillar all the time.
No, it's just mainly for like the baboon. Sometimes they just like go around and then you just
Mm,
can't hit it.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'd be okay if they made it to where like you can click over it, like you can shoot your shadow over it.
but you can't run
You
around.
can't pass over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine too.
That'd
Yeah,
be
that'd be
cool.
a cool compromise.
I would like to if they add the volatile baboons, the one that explode, to do AoE damage on monsters around it. That would be sick.
Yeah, I think that would be another good compromise.
That would be quite good though. Like you probably won't even bring chins. You just try to like path the baboons correctly.
Especially if they're static spawn, you would know like, oh,
Yeah, you'd bait them towards the entrance and
wave 9 volatiles. You drag over to the southwest to blow up all the thralls.
Yeah,
that
I
would be
don't
really
think it's.
cool.
Yeah, I definitely don't think Monkey Room is like that bad as people would say. People just don't like switching gear, which I do agree. It's kind of annoying. If you do it in a team, you don't really have to switch gear as much because you're spending more time hitting like a single monkey. But like to kind of counter that point, it's like Baba takes like 2 minutes versus like Aka or Kefri, which take a lot longer. So overall, the path is like about the same length.
True. Akka takes a lot longer too, compared to all the others. Like
Yeah,
double.
I'm just kind of surprised that they made Akka invocations like so much harder than the other ones. I
Well,
feel
the
like
Akka,
they,
it's the combination ones, like the double trouble. That one makes it harder.
yeah, I feel like they could probably, tweak the numbers on invocations a little bit because some are just completely free.
Yeah, like walk the path is like a joke. Like I think walk the path is easier than the level 2 everything, and it's like double the points.
Yeah, I feel like what they were trying to do is, I mean, I thought is that they wanted Walk the Path to be like on at all times. Like that was their entire point. Like this is a raid where you can do any of them at any time, but or in any order, but your order matters. So they kind of assumed that everybody would have that on, but it wasn't the case.
Yeah, but I think one of the main problems with TOA and the like choose your own path is no matter the path level of the boss, you do all of them the exact same. And so the order didn't change. Walk the path didn't change the order. Maybe in like, like a 525 or something, it might change the order, but for like team raids or, you know, Billy Bob solos, Walk the Path did nothing but give you a fuck ton of points for free, basically. Not for free, but give or take for free.
So you think they wanted to have walk the path beyond like for every raid? That way the order actually mattered. Because I remember them saying the order matters. They kept repeating that when they were talking about the raid.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
doesn't.
What it deal? I think what they meant is that like depending on what side you tank on P1, you get a different like two mini bosses for P3 Warden. I think that's what they meant, but the walk the path ideas would have been kind of cool too.
Yeah, if it actually kind of changed the mechanics of each boss, but all it does is give it some stats.
And
Yeah,
speed it up a
health.
little
Well,
bit.
it speeds up the mechanics a little bit, but it's not a big issue unless you're doing level 4 or 6.
And even then, like you do the exact same path every time.
Yeah, one quality of life I really want, but it's probably never gonna happen is uh they should make the doses on like the potions like higher. Like for ambrosia, you get 4 doses sometimes, but you get like 2 pots. Like it would be so much nicer if it was just 4 doses in four, and then if you ever get like need no help, then it just gives you like a two
Two
dose
doser. Yeah, but
instead.
that's not an issue if you do the resupply with the supply thing.
Yeah, but it's so annoying.
I just every time I click in Ambrosia, I click the
Yeah, I
resupply,
got used to it too.
and
I
so
got used to it
it doesn't
too,
matter
but
for me anymore. But I think that would be
Yeah,
nice for like the more the casuals if they
yeah,
can
yeah.
because
combine it.
the reason I say that is because like I do tour with my girlfriend, and she's obviously not like a gamer, so I have to tell her to take out both ambrosias or like she might die. But that was really annoying me when like 12 first came out.
Yeah, I
Because I
mean, I would.
remember they used to have 4, and then they reduced it to 2 because they nerfed the supply drops.
Yeah, but it was ridiculous on release, dude.
Yeah, they fucked it up
You
like
were
three
getting like
times.
5 fucking adrenaline pots and
Yeah,
like a
you
bunch of
got
shit.
yeah, you just got ambrosia with adrenaline. So
Yeah,
like
it was
why would you
nuts.
never pick power?
But overall, I think TOA is okay. It could use a couple quality of life, but I think the main issue is the purple drop rate, and a lot of people just don't have fun mechanically. There's yeah, except for like 600s, I guess. There's very and even 600s, you do 600s basically the same as a 550, I'd imagine. Um, I just feel like there's no differentials on mechanics when you change stuff up.
Yeah, what's interesting is if you're doing a 550, you might as well just do a 600 because when you add the time, you don't lose anything and you get extra points for the HP that the 25 invocation gives you.
Yeah, so I know Lake was doing them. I didn't like watch him do it or nothing, but I imagine, give or take the procedure, it might be harder, right? But the procedure he does for 600 is the exact same as the procedure he does for a 550 or a 500.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I feel like the invocation system kind of like it's good in some ways, but it kind of sucks ass in other ways, and like this is kind of a reason why it kind of just doesn't work sometimes compared
Yeah,
to like having challenge mode, uh, CM Hawks or like hard mode Tob.
yeah, I think the main issue with it is it encourages like this bell curve to where it's very rewarding for the very average player. And so for people like us that can push, I'm not like, again, I'm not trying to ego or brag or nothing, but people like us who aren't like Reddit Billy Bobs that can push 400s to
Sorry,
500s.
Reddit Billy Bobs.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, we're high level Iron Men raiding, right? So we can do it so much more efficiently than the average player that, it's hard to balance around us and also include the majority of the player base, right? Like,
Right.
and
Well,
I'm
the only
And
reason why they did that was to make it accessible. That's basically it.
which, speaking of, I think was a fantastic idea because sure, TOA isn't as good as Tob or Chambers, in my opinion. It gave them like numbers and statistics that they're looking at and shareholders are looking at. And I think it really put EVM and rating to the forefront of their priorities. And so I think TOA, even though it could have been better since release, has changed where RuneScape will be in the next 5 years in a way that I will enjoy playing, which is like, raids.
yeah,
So
definitely. Yeah.
because we went 5 years since TOB, I don't think we'll ever see that again because they saw the numbers of TOA.
Yeah, I really do like the accessibility. I feel like, maybe they could I'm not really sure about the invocation system, but I feel like they could make like more difficulties. Like it doesn't have to be like an entry, a normal, and then like a hard mode. It could, you could have like 4 or 5, you
Entry,
know,
normal, hard mode, mega mode,
like
degen mode.
insane or whatever.
No, degen
Like
has to be the last one.
like WoW has like mythic degen.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense. I'm just trolling.
Yeah, and did you have a heavy tier?
Yeah.
Let's run some heavy tobs.
And then if you make a mistake, you just get kicked. You don't even die, you just get kicked.
But yeah, like one annoying thing about the invocation is like, oh, hey, you gotta check the whole invocation list before you go. Hey, make sure this is on, this is off. Hey, you know, not like that's like a huge problem, but like if you just had like 4 difficulties
And it
or
was
three
like always the
difficulties,
same preset. That's what you mean?
yeah,
I get what you're saying. Maybe for the next raid we could see that. Like imagine if sailing comes out, so like segue into sailing. So imagine if sailing came out and they did like a raid underwater and the deeper you go in the sea is like the level of the raid, right? So you can have like 4 levels. You can have like shallow, you know, deep, uh, subnautical, and then something like pitch black. I don't know like random names, right? I didn't put much thought into
It's
it,
a really cool idea, actually.
but just for example, right? Instead of having all of these invocations, you just have the same raid, just on 4 separate levels, 4 different tiers, kind of like normal mode and challenge mode, but extended a little bit.
Yeah, like like Toa kind of everybody kind of complains how like Toa it's like yeah, it's not really that much harder. It's just the monsters get more HP and it's just more tedious. Like they could make it mechanically more interesting, like, you have like less time to react.
Or like, what if they added an invocation to where Zabak gets out of the water and goes into the middle of the island, and he can like whirlwind his tail around? That'd be a cool mechanic, cool
That'd
invocation
be
you could throw
cool.
on that like drastically changes the room.
Would people really turn that on though? It seems a lot more aids than just standing there T-bowing it.
I mean, it depends if I could turn it on and take Boulder Dash off you.
Well, that's true. It
Fucking
doesn't
hate
lose
Boulder
too
Dash.
much time. If it doesn't lose time, people would definitely consider it.
Yeah, like you can imagine. I mean, I think that's where the invocations went wrong, is they didn't drastically mechanically change the room, except for Double Trouble.
Yeah, that's Double Trouble's a good exception. That's a invocation they did really well.
And I think that's it. I think
Yeah, I'm trying to think of others. Like everything else is either like faster,
it just makes it slightly more aids,
yeah, like medic,
but it doesn't change it
or like
in its
more
core.
overloads. That's not even close to mechanics. Just more overloads. That's it.
Yeah, like
Overlords. Sorry.
what if Overlords, instead of spawning the extra beetle, was the dung underneath Kefri was actually an egg and it cracked open, and then Kefri was walking around the room after it cracked open. Like it would change the room entirely rather than
Or
an
if it
extra mob
spawned like a
appears.
bunch of like the eggs, when they hatch, it spawns a bunch of different monsters, all different styles, and you have to kill them within 10 seconds or whatever. And then you blow
Yeah,
up at
like
them and mage them and all that,
you actually pop the eggs.
and not just ignore them in prey range.
Yeah, because you already pre range anyway. I don't know. There's a lot of potential with TOA, which actually surprises me that they haven't touched it since. Like they did like a month, maybe 2 months of balancing and
Oh, they
changing
they
stuff.
they they were a roller coaster of changes on the release day.
Yeah, and then they
Nerfed a
like
bunch of shit. People got mad. They put it back, and then they just didn't touch it since.
yeah. So like for the
Yeah.
first month and a half, 2 months, they like baby TOA a lot, which was probably good.
But it
And then
was
they just like
crazy how
forgot about
many
it.
people did Toa. Like they had like 1 million raids within a couple weeks, which is
Yeah,
nuts.
I think like by the Sunday night of the first week, there were more TOA completions than next kills,
That's
which
insane,
was
dude.
9 months
I'm gonna go
total.
check how many Toa completions there are. Can someone go check Tob?
Oof.
I wonder if
I,
it surpassed
I
Tob.
will on the alt.
I
Oh
can
yeah,
go. I can go
I think
myself if you want.
I think in like 2 weeks, um, it passed top,
In 2 weeks, that's
something
insane.
like that, maybe a month. It
Because
was
Tob has been
very
on for
quick.
so long, and people. I mean, I think the thing with Tob is it's like a few people degen it and love it, but I guess Toa, like everyone did it
Yeah, everyone could do it too.
because it was like zero invocation Toa is like you with infinite lives. Just no, you don't have to learn anything. You just brute force until it clicks.
Yep.
All right, I'm at the Toa leaderboard. Let me go check,
All right, how many total completions?
including expert and normal and entry.
Uh, yeah,
Not entry.
combined. Oh,
Jesus Christ, that's crazy. We
Yeah.
have 10.6 mil. It's around like 11.5 million completions.
total?
Yeah, for all three raids.
That's actually a lot less than I expected.
Jesus, that's insane.
See, TOB is at 6.6 mil,
So we're almost double tall.
almost double, yeah.
Damn, dude.
So it might not have been a month, but it might have been like 3 months after release. TOA became more than TOB.
Yeah, but Toa is also a little dying. Remember, it's not.
Yeah, it's dying fast.
It's dying pretty bad. And I don't know if you saw the graph. You might have not seen it, Sunshine. Salii, you for sure did. Like the GB per hour from Toa, it's crashing like crazy lately. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm so glad I got Spoon early for Toa because I mean I didn't get Spoon, but I sold like my dupe rings for like 60 mil and I sold my dupe fangs for like 200 something.
Yeah, I actually regret not degening Toa on release. Like I know you did, Sally, and I regret not doing that.
It was so much money. I made like 8 bill from it. It was so good.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah, I missed out. I don't know why I wasn't doing it too. I just kind of, I don't know. I guess I was doing other things.
You do the same. You did the same with Nex. You still haven't gone back to Nex.
Yeah, but Next is actually shit. So no, I'll go back to Next. Don't worry. One day.
Dude, our CC is so spooned on Nex.
Yeah, it's actually insane.
Seriously. Except for like
Except
four
for
of us.
you and who's the other guy? Is it
Pharaoh.
off? Oh yeah, I forgot about Pharaoh. First tour of a plate body. Still missing it.
He gave up.
It's okay. I'll go back with him one day. I plan to go back actually. I want to finish 2K Toa Cape
Yeah.
and then do next between CMs probably, like whenever I'm
It's so
bored.
consistent with Void Waker.
Yeah, I'm excited to try the Void Waker there.
Yeah, Void Waker Fang. It makes it look like actually like fun. Like I want to go do it now, but I'm waiting until I finish all my farming these toad flax. So I want to have like my 30k brews from TOA.
Are you how many 20,000 Toad Flax yet?
I gotta check. I don't know. I'm probably close to around there, probably 18k with a
Bro,
thousand seeds left.
I made like 14k brews in like 6 hours. I thought that was gonna be like pretty high for irons, but no. I think a lot
Nah,
of people
dude.
saved up like a ton of staminas, so they
Yeah,
just
Iron
one
Man
take
skilling is
staminas.
like another level of Tism, dude.
Yeah, they saved up like 200 mil agi,
Oh shit.
and then they just like one tick staminas for 6 hours.
Yeah, the normie record is even more gross. They did like the anti-fire thingies. Give you
Antidote?
no, like the anti-fires with the blue dragon. Wait, no. The blue dragon? No, the lava shard, the lava shards.
Okay.
It's like 180 XP each and they one tick them. But yeah. Iron Man's skilling records are cracked.
Yeah, it took me so long to get through all my herbs. Good luck getting 30k toad flax. It took so fucking long.
How'd you get the nest? Did you do birdhouse runs for it?
Yeah, I just do birdhouse. Like, I do like 2 a day for like however many years I've been playing this account. I still have, yeah, I still have more. I don't know, I've never had problems getting nests, and I like don't kill mole. Because I think mole is like hella boring.
I got a problem with nest right now. I need like 20k nest.
You gotta hunt moped and then just do birdhouse runs till eternity.
Oops.
All right. Okay. Should we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, what do we got?
So we got here boosting CAs slash kits. Thoughts on this? Should it be allowed? Should Jagex make a stop to it? What do you guys think?
Like, the boosting we have like right now, like the Jagex compliant boosting servers.
Yeah, I'm talking about, yeah, of course the unethical login ones is bannable, so I think Jagex made a quite a good statement on that, and with the Jagex launchers coming in, I don't know if you can still do login services with like launcher.
Yeah, I have no clue.
You can definitely do parsec, that's for sure, but I don't know about login services. I would think not, because then you'd have to give them your like. I don't know.
Yeah, login services are bannable.
Yeah, but can you do login services if you're on Jagex client?
I don't know.
I'll have to ask around.
I think like in a perfect world, if like nobody's breaking rules, then just whatever we have right now, which is just paying for carries. I think that's fine. But obviously, like some people who are selling the carries, they're obviously real world trading the gold.
Well, not all of
Um,
them do, but that is definitely an issue because they're making
as a
insane money. Like
right, they're making like 40 mil an hour.
probably more in some cases, especially 500 kits. People pay insane money for that.
What was that copy paste that we had that someone's not logging in unless they're making 72 mil an
Yeah,
hour?
65 mil an hour. That's
Yeah.
from the Never Discord.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
gonna
like,
say who because it's not nice, but yeah, that's funny.
so yeah, like
Just
people.
for reference, the dude wrote in another Discord. He wrote, "I'm not logging into the game if it's less than 65 mil GB per hour." Which
Yeah,
is
that
like,
just.
bro, like
Honestly,
65 mil
that
GB
just
per hour is insane. Like, what the fuck?
not saying that like you can't do that, but like it just feels like you're definitely not playing a game at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I definitely understand like the feeling that it's a waste of time. So I mean, I understand it, but and
Yeah, but
that's totally
that's like
fine.
what, 20 bucks an hour, 65 mil an hour, like, dude.
What that person is also
Untaxed.
not real
Remember,
world selling at all.
Yeah,
untaxed.
I know they're not because I know who it is, but that's still kind of that's funny. But no one makes that amount of money unless you're doing like I'm not
That's
gonna give
true.
more information because that might leak it. So I'm just gonna shut up.
Were they it's pet boosting, right? Not CAs.
Both.
It was I think it
Uh,
was, yeah, it was mostly
It's the
CAs though.
CA instance, yeah, but the way I see it is obviously boosting to any degree, 100% okay. It's within the game rules.
Yeah, but my question is, I know it's like it's within the rules because it's like a TOS boosting, but my question is more, should GIX allow it or should they put a stop to it or add restrictions or should they
I
just
think
leave it as is?
I think they should get involved in the methods that are, in my opinion, exploiting a bug. Like the mega scales for irons, like low level irons or new hardcores. That's that's obviously a bug, right? And it's a bug because when Chambers was created, they didn't expect people to get more than personal point caps and then feed it all to a singular. They had no clue, right? It's an 8-year-old piece of content, and to me, that's a bug. That's an obvious bug, and I think they should fix it. Just
But
remove the
there's a
personal
fine
point.
line between bug and mechanic. Remember?
I don't. I mean, let's be real. Funneling all drops to a singular account, I think that's a bug. And so all they got to do is remove the personal point cap.
yeah,
And if they have an Iron Man in a raid that makes 60 overloads and fish like 300 fish and they get 400k points, perfectly fine. It's whenever they make 20 overloads, chin shamans, and that's it, and then they AFK, and then a main and max gear
Does everything else?
gets all those points. It's basically the iron gets those points, but the iron did get those points. A maxed main with maxed gear with unlimited resources and can pick up drops off the ground got those points, right? So
But
that's where it becomes unethical for Iron Man. Same with like TOA kits, like the
TOA
people that
kits, I
log
think
out.
they should make that bannable. In my opinion, I think that's really cringe.
I don't think it should be bannable. I think they should fix the bug to where if you log out in P2 of Wardens
You don't get the
and then
kit.
log back in P3, it counts as a death, right? Because that's how the fundamental like
Yeah,
an
that's how they
idea.
do it. I remember one of my friends explaining to me how it works because I don't know how to kit boosting works. But I don't know. I
Yeah,
feel
Usually,
like the kit is supposed to be a sign that you master the content. Why would you be allowed to pay for it? Like
I don't.
it's like the Inferno Cape gave you stats, so it made sense to make it. But it's also like a single player. I guess you can't really compare it because you can do it in teams. But I don't know. Supposed to be a sign of prestige, and people are able to buy it.
Yeah, but the carry, I'm 100% okay if they buy teammates to do a 500 with, and they're like,
Yeah,
and
and
they
they
get
do it.
funneled
Sure. Yeah,
ambrosia.
that's fine. That's better. But the people that
It's
log out and then have someone else do a 1+1 solo 500, that's cringe.
Yeah, and they log out during P2 and it doesn't count as a death. That's where I find the bug, right?
But how did
And
they
so
do it? When did they log out on P2?
they log out right as the core dies on P2, and then they log in on P3, and it doesn't count as a death.
And they log in outside of
as a
Warden as a
ghost.
ghost?
No, they log back into P2 where they had logged out at as a human.
And they just chill there where the other dude solos?
Yeah,
What the fuck? That's so stupid.
Wait, so
and
they log
Yeah, okay,
in
that's
like
definitely that's a bug, dude. Like,
yeah, they log out then log back in.
so they log in like where you're supposed to die, but they're not actually dead.
no,
Well,
they
they
log
don't.
in like next to the core, but the core's dead, and Warden's on the other room fighting P3.
Oh,
No,
okay, I get
Right?
it now.
Did I
they
understand
never
that right, Sally?
know that there's like at Wardens you click that right when you go in you like click the little teleporter to go in
Oh,
and then
like
you
at the
go.
like on the top part, as
Yeah,
soon
they
as you
never go
cross the
in.
door. Yeah.
They never go in. So
Also,
the
they
two
wait the
minute
two
timer,
minutes. Oh,
yeah, they
I
wait the
see.
2-minute timer. The dude solos when he kills the core. He logs out. The boostee logs out. P3 starts. He logs in, and he's not dead.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's a bug, in my opinion,
Yeah, I don't know why Jagex doesn't like fix these bugs like faster. Like it's
because
obviously a bug.
you have people that argue, well, is it a bug? In my opinion, I mean, I think it's obvious it is,
Yeah, there is
and
a
that's
fine line between a bug and a mechanic, but that's hard to defend, you know?
yeah. I don't think that's a mechanic. I think that's a legit ass bug.
Because I remember they fixed it. People were boosting by like not doing wardens, and then they made a fix so that you have to participate. I remember they even made a patch. In the patch note, they said you have to participate to get the kit roll, but I didn't know you could
Yeah,
bug it that way. I thought
but
1+1 was that like I thought you would do warden with them at
no,
least,
no, you just
and they would give
sit
you
out.
like an ambrosia or something.
No, like your participation is like the puzzle rooms.
Bruh, it's so cringe. Yeah, that they should. If I was Jagex, I would make kit boosting like 1+1ing. That would you fix that shit. But even like boosting CAs, if it's like for the team speeds, I think that's fair. But like the 1+1 perfect Aka, 1+1 perfect Warden, that's stupid. That should not be a thing.
Yeah, because it's bugged.
Well, I know like someone in the CC they did perfect Aka. Don't say names, by the way, guys. They did perfect Aka. They paid, and some dude did a 1+1 solo perfect Aka.
And
Yeah, because they just
they
logged
just
out.
went in as soon as it
They know,
died.
yeah. They just. I don't know if he went in it as soon as it died, but he just chilled and did nothing and waited.
Yeah, it's a bug.
Like to be fair, the guy in question, like he's good enough to do the CA. He just has a lot of GP, so he didn't really give a shit. But I think that should not be a thing. That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I see that as a bug too, and I think it should be fixed. I don't think they should be banned, but I think it should be fixed.
But I don't know. I feel like my arguments are like there's like a gap because I'm saying like isn't it similar to if I'm paying someone to carry me for the perfect Haka? Isn't it the same as paying someone to carry me for the 8-man Toa speed? Because the
Yeah,
team
but
Uh,
I went
usually,
no,
for that, like I could have been a complete donkey, freaking
no,
clicking everywhere incorrectly, and I would have still got the GM time. Like that team was really good. They carried really well.
I mean no, because the getting the combat achievement doesn't rely on a bug or a workaround. Like the workaround would be, not going in until the ticket dies and then going in. That'd be a bug. The fix to it would be if you're not within the room in the first 15 seconds, you don't get the combat achievement. That should be the fix.
Yeah, that should be the good fix too.
Or if you don't participate in P3 wardens, you know, you don't get the kit.
Yeah, I feel like Jagex should kind of look into why so many people are buying like the boosts. Like, is it because it's too hard, or is it too hard to find teammates? Now, personally, I think it's just kind of hard to find like teammates, especially for like the 201.
Yeah,
Well, it's a
eight
mixture of
people.
multiple things. It's hard to find teammates, and if a teammate has it, they probably won't do it with you.
Yeah, I
And on
definitely
top
feel
of
like
that, people that are good enough to do it, they probably just join a boosting services Discord and just boost it for others for money. So it is like a vicious circle.
right. I feel like I don't know. Maybe they could like make an incentive, to like help other people, but like I don't know how or like
Yeah, this
what.
I don't know
Like
how
what
to
if
do that
Like,
either.
what if for all of the like team content ones, like if one person on the team, I mean I'm just saying like random stuff, but like for hard mode top, let's take hard mode top for example. If someone on the team gets the combat achievement completed, you get a slight boost to the ornament kit. Or like I don't know. I mean I don't know. Never mind.
yeah, I don't
That's kind of
know.
It's a
cringe
cool
idea.
option, but I don't want to have to be forced to grab like people that don't
Yeah,
have
I
a
got
seat.
you.
Like it's a
Yes,
slippery
I don't
slope.
know. I'm okay with all the people buying CAs as long as they don't rely on a bug to complete them.
Yeah, same.
Same with mega
Honestly.
scales. I think mega scales are a bug. So
But Jax needs to find like a way to define what a bug is.
I mean, that's an impossible. I think it's a pretty obvious that
It's like a non-intended mechanic.
yeah, it's not intended as bug.
Because then you
Mega
can
scales.
put so much like game mechanics on there, like prayer flicking and so on. It's like I don't know, man.
But the one thing that I absolutely hate about the boosting community is how aggressively they market it.
Yeah,
Because
the
you
the
cannot.
prices are insane.
It's not really the price. I don't care about the prices. It's you cannot go into a big Discord without or even YouTubers or streamers. Everyone endorses them because they're paying loads of money for it. And it's like the aggressive marketing and it always being in your face is super annoying.
Well, there's a lot of different like discords for it too nowadays. There's even a lot of new discords popping off that are trying to copy the same concept.
Right,
Yeah,
because it's so like lucrative and
Well, it's also
so
like
many people
not
kind of want it.
hard. It's
Yeah, it's
just
not
finding other
hard.
people that are willing to do it
Yeah,
that
which
have the gear.
I just feel like I don't know. I feel like all of it. I think it's fine to have team tasks, but like I don't know. What do you guys think about like the 8-man one? Like,
Yeah, that's a little
how
excessive.
annoying
yeah, I
is
think
it
that's a little bit
to get
crazy.
8
They should have done
people?
like 4 manners, but I do like 8-man skills. They're fun, but it is hard to find 8 people willing to pot.
I wish they would have done something along the lines of like do an 8-man 300 sub 18 or a 6-man sub 1830, 4-man sub 19, duo
Yeah,
sub 20. Yeah, I don't know like the numbers on it, but
They would have
give
to
like more
balance it out, but
options.
at least give it the that would be a cool compromise. Because dual scale is actually really fun, by the way. It's like a nice skill in terms of like consistency, but also not needing a lot of players.
yeah. If I don't know if 8-man Toa is the last thing I need, I might look into boosting for it. I think it's like cheaper if you get 2 people, but it's just kind of weird that I have to like consider that.
Yeah, I boosted it for me, but then I got it like at least 25 times with Salii after, so I guess I shouldn't have paid for it.
Yeah, but then I'm just seeing this like right now. Apparently yesterday, Adicon even put a link in the TOA resources Discord to a boosting Discord. And it's like one of the things I super respect about We Do Raids is they never sold out. You know,
Oh shit, he did, dude. I just see the. That was today. It was like
Which
4
one?
hours ago.
The Toa
oh today.
Discord? Oh, Trice. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say it, but okay, I see it.
But all the
Can
discords are
you
doing
find
that,
these?
dude, including like the. I don't want to like give shit on that. Like I was talking to. Oh, I don't want to give his name, but I was talking to an owner of a big Discord for irons. Do I even give more information? I don't know, man. And like, okay, so he's the owner of a big Discord for like an Iron Man specific thing, and he sold out. And I was talking to him about it, and like we were friends before he made the Discord, and he's just like no hard feelings, it's just money. And I was like, dude, I don't care, it's your Discord, do you what you want. But I remember when he did that announcement, I left the Discord because he was the first Discord that I was in to ping everyone with like a advertisement. But now they're all doing it.
Yeah, everyone's doing it, and it's so aggressively marketed. It's annoying as hell. And I leave this like I've left so many discords because they sold out for gem shops or boosting or whatnot. But
The
that's
game shops are funny if you look through them.
Yeah, they're
Like
actually entertaining. I like
yeah, they're
looking at
very
these
funny.
trades.
someone buying like a Sears ring and that's it. I'm like, what the hell?
No shot, someone bought a seer. Dude, you have to post that in
I
good soup. That's
okay.
hilarious.
It's in I replied to Sweep on that one. We can find it.
Because I saw the one that Sweet posted where the dude bought like 4,000 emeralds uncut. Like, what the fuck?
It's the one right under that one.
Oh, really? Is it in good soup?
I don't remember where he posted it.
And speaking of gem shops, one of my like very, very long-term
Weird flex.
friends is like an owner of one of those gem shopping discords or whatever. And that's all he does nowadays. Literally all he does. He's been doing it for like a year now, maybe a year and a half.
Just does game shop trades and that's it.
That's it. And he's like obsessed with money. That's like what he finds fun about this game is just hoarding money. I don't know if he real world trades it. I don't think so. But like he just has the obsession of just hoarding it, you know? Um and I asked him how much he made. I'm not gonna give a number, but let's say I've done like 6,000 raids over all my accounts, give or take. You can imagine how much money that is. He's made about 8 times what I've made total over all those raids. So he's made,
Oh, it was an
well over.
archer ring. It was 6,400 uncut rubies and an archer ring.
You're the one right under that one that I replied to.
Oh wait, that's that was a.
It was just like a Sears ring.
Dude, what the hell? I'm sorry, but who buys a Sears ring on the Gim shop? Like some of these trades are like okay, like some dude buying like a Shadow of Tumikin and a bunch of PVM gear. I'm like, all right, that guy is kickstarting his rating, but damn, dude, what a meme. That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I heard what you're saying about like hoarding money. Like they're just like flipping items in his game shop, right? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, I'm sure people just de-iron and sell their stuff.
No, for sure.
I'm sure they're making bank off of it.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I saw what's his name?
Yeah,
Fuse?
Fuse did a video on that. Gim
Yeah, he
shopped
said
like
well,
his entire bank on his ex hardcore.
right. Which I found funny because he said everything is like 50% more, like 1.5x, except for T-Bows, which are 1.7x.
Except Tebow's, only Tebow's are 1.7x?
Yeah,
Interesting. I guess there's
like
a
I
way
guess
bigger
if
demand because a Tebow is stupid rare.
yeah,
yeah.
but people are selling them for double what they paid for it. So they're making a Tebow every Tebow.
Yeah, there's. I mean, I'll probably have a. I don't know what the markup is. You probably have to check.
I
But
have no clue.
Yeah, I don't know.
that's pretty interesting.
But yeah, I mean, I flipped a lot before making an iron. I didn't have like a shit ton of cash. I had like 10 bill. And I think my iron has 10 bill, like over 10 bill now, if I didn't drop anything. I'm sure it would have been over, but I thought it was like pretty fun to like kind of merchal. I didn't sell anything. I didn't sell any of it, but it's kind of fun to have like, see your cash stack go up. But yeah, after a certain point, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah, but like the Sally's friend is like in a different case where he's making like insane GP per hour in like retrospect. So he's just hoarding, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's a like I collect collection log slots. He collects GP, so
Yeah, and
different
he's
play
always been
style.
like that. I've known him for like 7, 8 years maybe, and he's just always been like super hoarding of money, which is fine, and that's how he likes to play the game.
Yeah, it's okay. If he's not RWTing yet, there's literally nothing
Yeah, of
wrong with
course,
that
yeah.
whatsoever.
But fuck, it's annoying seeing all these advertisements everywhere, all the time.
It's cool. It's interesting too how it like kind of like just popped off out of nowhere.
Yeah, like
Well, I think
maybe
Jagex
a
said it
year
was
ago.
okay.
Oh yeah, I guess when they banned like services discords, and then they said that
They
was
said it was
allowed.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And then also Jagex made they buffed CAs, just like the rewards and the how accessible it was.
Yeah, so people
Yeah.
were buying like CAs on an alt just to get like elites or something for, whatever alt method that they wanted to do. They rebought a lot of CAs. I heard that was like a big customer base was alts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
Like
they would buy
getting
like 10 Grandmaster tasks for a bill, and they wouldn't have to do like all the other tasks.
oh, that'd save a lot of time because they wouldn't have to do the shit tasks. Huh.
Yeah.
And also,
Well, I
if you
don't.
get like the Grandmaster Toa speed, you get a bunch of other CAs at the same time. Get like the
Yeah,
Master
like
speed and like the regular speed and all that.
yeah. So that was a big influx of business right there. But hopefully, those types of discords will die out eventually. Maybe Jagex will take a stand against it. But I mean, you can't for like the carries, right? Like obviously that'll never happen. It's impossible to, determine who got a carry and who didn't, right? But
I just
Yeah,
love how
like
they call it like TOS or
compliant.
Jagex complacent Discord services. It's I don't know. I
which
find it
which is
funny.
true.
And it's just
They're
funny.
they're compliant. And I
But
mean
I
like
mean,
even pet boosting I think is 100% fine too. Like buying God Wars boost 100% fine
Oh yeah,
because it
it is. As long
because
as
it
you're
doesn't
not.
rely on a bug. That's where I draw the line.
yeah, I remember like a few years ago, I was at the GE on my main, and I just overheard or oversaw, I guess would be the RuneScape equivalent. Someone saying, I just bought 1K KQ killed. I'm like, what, like bought? Like, how'd you buy it? Like, oh, I was like, okay, I guess they meant boosting, and they said it costs them like, I don't know, something crazy, like 800 mil or some shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck?
800k
I'm over
each.
here
Jesus.
I'm doing like thousands of KQ kills, like doing 2 KCs a trip, and I'm like sweating, and then this guy just, yeah. I mean, they weren't even in rich gear either, and they didn't have a lot of like boss KCs, so I'm just like, what the fuck?
No worries, Salih, if you have to BRB. It's fine.
Gotta take a shit
Shit.
break.
No, I think he got a call or something. Um. Okay.
Do you edit these, by the way?
No, I just full on chuck it in there.
I thought you would at least like edit the pauses out.
Nah, that's part of the experience.
That's awesome. How long are we at?
We're at 2 hours right now.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it actually goes by a lot faster too. And I also tend to rewatch them like in the future.
Yeah, because I remember I would like listen to some podcasts and I'd be like zoning out, killing some Slayer boss. and then I would hear like either Sebe or somebody, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's all we have." And then I tap back and I'm like, "Damn, that was like 3 hours. Like, what the fuck was I doing?"
Yeah, I usually always watch them in the car, or not watch, listen to them in the car while driving too. I think it's like, I don't know, it's like a nice filler instead of music. Are you still doing Corpse Sunshine?
No, I stopped. I'm doing Zolra now.
Ew.
I'm just doing T-Bow Zolra. It's really easy. I was doing Corp. I was doing Food Method, and then I died, and then I gave up.
Yeah, you don't do food method on fucking podcast, dude. You do POH method and then you AFK. Alright.
I might go do. I'm trying to do like 3 Fusanis a day until I get 100 KC. That's like the most I can stomach.
That's more than me, dude. I can barely stomach one.
And then I'll get the tablet, and then I'll think about it if it feels way better. I got a I got a staff like a few KC ago, which is pretty cool.
Honestly, dude, I think you should just keep Nightmare for like complete last. Because right now there's no good uses except like niche things. Maybe that'll change though, for sure, but
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, I
know.
don't
It's
know.
just the drops are way too rare. It just doesn't feel worth the time.
Yeah, I don't have anything other to go for other than like pets and raids capes.
Oh, in that case, it's fair. All right. There's one more topic here, but I kind of want to wait for Salii because it's about his Discord. But that's really the only topic that we have left. Is there anything else you want to add, Sunshine? Another topic?
No, that was yeah, that's pretty good.
Or what are
The
your goals?
ML.
Did you talk about your? I mean, you said like Zuck Helman.
I mean, I don't know, like
What about like beyond Zuck Helman? What's your goals?
so okay, so I thought about this. Um, I'm right now at like 962 clog slots, and I think I'm just gonna go stick with like just pet hunting, even though it's kind of boring. I kind of want to do clog, but I'm just like it just takes too long to be like macro efficient. I feel like that would kind of kill like the fun for me.
Well,
For
you can
example,
also just do PVMing. That's basically like if you pet hunting, that's basically clogging.
yeah, I mean, I'm not missing anything other than like pets, other than like the really long bosses like Nightmare and Corp.
Like
But like the only
Marnie
things
and
I'm
Tortunama, I butcher his name all the time, but they PVM for all pets and raidscapes, and then they did like almost no clues except Bloodhound, of course. And
yeah,
then they full
I've
send
done
clues
fuck
and just
all.
jump the clog slots like crazy.
I've done like fuck all clues. I've only done the clues I've gotten from skilling and PVM, and that's it.
At least you do those. That's good.
It's like a nice distraction. But like I said, like for example, for Hell, what's it called? Cerberus, all I'm missing is Jar, and I'm not gonna like unblock Hellhounds just to get a Jar.
You could be like turbo macro efficient about it, and then just only do Cerberus on bingos.
Yeah, but that means I would have okay, maybe, but I would still have to unblock them. But
Yeah, you'd
yeah,
have to
you're
block.
right.
Yeah, you'd have to burn Slayer points. That's true.
Yeah, I love how that one event, where you potted Greenlog Cerberus and you made the board and you knew that like there was nothing there.
The race.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know where the keys were.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
I thought you knew.
I was gonna know it. When Ufera and I were making the board. This is a long time ago, by the way. You weren't in the CC, Sally, but essentially it was like a race event, and we had different paths, and some paths had a key to unlock a door, and other paths had like nothing. But you didn't know you had to like unlock the path. So we were making we were picking where to place the keys, and I told Pharaoh, I'm like, you know what, Pharaoh, like only one of us needs to know this. He's like, yeah. So like you pick the placements, I'll trust you, and it'll make it more fun for me. And he's like, okay. I think it was more fun for me that way, to be fair. So
Yeah, like I thought that you were just putting like green log servers while knowing that you like there would be nothing there. I was like, damn. That
yeah,
must
because
be
I was
really
being
tough.
post green log Cerberus, dude, and I
Yeah.
ended up getting the tile too. I remember that was a sick event, dude. We're gonna do another one soon.
You think we're gonna win? Dude, they have like some
Oh,
turbo
dude,
gamers.
you actually want to talk about that? We can talk about that. If okay, if
I
anyone
think
from
they
Iron
have like
Clan is watching, please skip the next 10 minutes of this video.
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of flaming.
There's probably like only friend watching, and that's it. But
So
I think it'll be tight. I think they have more gamers than we do, like high end gamers, but we have more like casual gamers, like average gamers. But I think it'll
Dude,
come down to who can do the most raids efficiently, and I think their team is stronger than us in raids overall.
yeah, I think their like top end is like way above our well, not like way, they're not like per capita, it's not, they're not better, right? It's just they have more high end PBMers.
Yeah, like for
And
reference, we have 4 Zuckhelms now in our CC ever since Boss Barkley got it, and they have I think 11 or 12 Zuckhelmers, which is not a good
yeah,
metric. Like it's not a perfect metric because like Sunshine, you're obviously good, but you're like close to a Zuckhelm, but like it still shows that they overall they definitely have more gamers than we do. So
yeah, but I think our like average player is really good. Like the last bingo, I was super surprised with how people I didn't know and didn't expect to really contribute did like a fuck ton. Like they would
yeah,
get like
there's a
three
lot of
tiles.
sleeper gamers in the scene. Like they don't talk much in the chat, but they participate in the bingos, and we also have a lot more experience in events than they do. Like they host events too, but we host like consistent every 2 months events. Like I think I've hosted 14 bingos now, or I lost count after 10 or something. So we have good experience on top of them. I don't know. I think it'll be a very fair and like evenly matched fight. Let me go check the signups actually. We have 88, they have 87. Damn, dude, we're like actually
So
neck and
close.
neck.
that's actually so close.
I'm not
Okay.
surprised because I thought we'd have much more than they do.
When does signups end?
I'll probably close it like the day before, so like on July 13th.
Gotcha.
Are we aiming for like 100 versus 100?
I told them that we're just gonna like accept signups until the end, and then we'll cut off people depending on which team has the most signups to make it even. But we'll allow like a little tolerance. Like if it's like a few people on any other team, like I'm not gonna cut off people. That's not fair.
Is there any like forfeit or prizes? Or
Yeah,
is this
we're
just
putting each clan is putting 500 mil cash,
oh
so it's a
shit.
1 bill bounty, and it's already funded. We have the CC coffer money that we use for it, so we already funded it.
That's good.
Yeah, 1 bill bounty is pretty. It's like not a crazy amount of GP, but it's not like nothing either. It's like a good middle ground.
Yeah. I
So it
mean
should
a
be
Check out
lot of
fun.
like irons just don't really give a fuck
Yeah,
about like
I
prize
don't
points.
care.
Yeah, like you look at like some of the like Sandy or whatever those PVM clans with mains, they have like a 10 bill pot.
Yeah, but they also have buy-ins. Like they have
Yeah.
like 10 mil buy-ins and stuff like that. We don't ever do buy-ins, so that's a positive. It would be so AIDS to manage buy-ins with irons. Like, oh my gosh. Like imagining having to run to like Edgeville to claim like a dupe B ring for the buy-in. Like, bro, like, oh,
a two beering
that'd be so
on it.
AIDS.
Takes a lot of people mains to collect money on.
But yeah, we take donations, and we had a few people donate like insane GP. Like I think it was Astro Glider. He donated 1 bill. I was like, what the hell? Because he's like a mid end game iron, like not max gear yet, and he just dropped 1 bill on his main, and I was like, who are you? What the hell, dude?
Yeah, some people have like max mains.
Yeah, he had a max main like giga stack gear, and I was like, holy shit. And a few other people dropped 500 mil. So yeah, it should be a really fun event. I'm excited for that. For those who don't know, it's PVM comp V3 against another clan. So we're gonna be fighting Iron Clan, and yeah, it's in mid July. So it's in like, damn, it's in 3 weeks.
3 weeks, 3 weeks.
Bro, Abe's gonna have to carry the fuck out of me for the sheet. Shit, dude, that's really soon. Damn.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll try to get my account before then.
Are you gonna take off work for it?
Is it a week long
Yeah,
or
it's a week long.
shit? I'll think about it.
Cause I'm not, dude. There's no way I'm burning vacation days to play RS 16 hours a day. Fuck that, dude.
I mean, I can leave like early.
Yeah, I'll definitely like degen, like I'll degen, but I'm not taking vacation days for this.
Yeah, I'm not either. I got a trip next April that I'm taking that's gonna be like 3 weeks long, so I got a 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Damn,
you
where you
told
going?
me that'll be fun.
Japan and Alaska.
Oh yeah, I thought it was only Alaska. I didn't know it was Japan. That's cool. Japan is
Yeah, it
sick.
starts in Japan. It's like a cruise. So it starts in Japan and goes around Alaska and ends in Washington State.
Holy, that's so cool. So you
Yeah, it's
fly
gonna be
to
great.
Japan for the to grab the cruise?
Yeah, I would probably spend like a week in Japan
Oh, that's so sick, dude.
and then like 10 days on the ship, and then probably like 3 or 4 days in Alaska and Washington State.
Would you be able to like work on the cruise? Since you work from home, would your company allow that?
So I was actually discussing with my brother, and technically, there's nothing stopping me from
Yeah,
waking up at like 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. or whatever the time zone equals to, and just working from a cruise ship. And then after that,
Doing
you
your own
know,
stuff, yeah. I mean,
yeah, doing
I
whatever I
wouldn't see
want.
why not either. You're working from home anyways.
yeah.
And
I
it'd
went.
be, and I've been looking at prices of like cruise ships and stuff, and like compared to rent, electric, water, food, because you would eat in like a whatever
The buffet,
dining
yeah.
room they have. It's like the same as rent where I'm living, plus all utilities. And so it's like, fuck, man, I
Damn.
might have
Dude,
to think
you're
about
literally
that.
just on a cruise like all the time, dude.
Yeah, just be on 24/7
Permanent
cruise.
cruise.
And then plus, especially in like Japan, the yen is like super weak right now, and so like the US dollar, like you can like have like a really good dinner for 40 cents
Yeah,
or
it's
have
very
like
cheap. And booze is
you
not
know,
very expensive either.
yeah, or like have like a steak dinner for like $4.
But I think it like as long as you don't live there, I'm sure you're okay. But there's like a certain limit amount of time you can stay in the country before you have to like demand residency, and there's a bunch of specific laws for each country.
Yeah, so I can imagine if like it's 2 months for the company I work for, like you gotta be living there for 2 months and then you have to declare. But I'm pretty sure that you would like if you were on a cruise ship, you'd be moving around and such. So I
Yeah, I
wouldn't
Or
be
you
remember.
just
like in
come
the
back
same
home for a
country.
couple weeks and then go back, and that's cool.
Yeah,
That would be so
yeah,
sick, dude.
it would
I
be.
remember
Yeah,
going to like a resort, and there would be people like just working. Like
Really?
I'm, their company didn't know they were like working on vacation. But yeah, there's people who do that. Like there's nothing, like you said, there's like nothing stopping you, but if they found out, then you might get in trouble.
yeah, I could see that.
Man, I can't do that shit, dude. I have to be in person some days. Fucking sad.
Yeah, I tell you what, the work from home gains on RuneScape is nuts. Like people, especially as like an in-game iron, people always complain like, "Oh, Iron Man's such a grind. I could never do it." And it's like, bro, you work from home. You have 8 hours a day to make potions. Like you're on a meeting for 2 hours a day, then
You're
you
like,
you can make 2K potions every day.
All right, that was an interesting conversations.
Yeah, tangents
about
over there.
IRL efficiency.
People are gonna try to find Sally's manager and call them.
No,
Say,
I've
sir, I
already
want to
told him he
inform you
knows.
your worker has a Zuck helm, plays during working hours.
Gotta have something to do during meetings.
Man, I remember he did a company I used to work at. We had like every month we had a meeting, which is like the whole plant together, and they would show like the KPIs, like the statistics of like how everything's going. And the meeting was so boring. So every single month on that day, I would pot trio CMs with Steve-O and someone else in the CC. Just
It's
chilling
funny.
there. Fuck, man, good times. Okay, so the one last thing I got here. Speaking of CMs, so Mr. Salii, you made a new Discord to host Iron Man friendly CMs. So do you want
Yeah,
to talk about that?
so basically the idea that I'm trying to run with is still in like the early phases. It's like a week, less than a week old. Is CMs are solved for mains 100%. Fives for mains 100% solved. Like I think the world record now is like 1830. Is it something like that?
Yeah, it's freaking nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. However, if you go to like we do raids, a trio CM with irons, mains, and any mix is like 30 to 35 minutes or more. And obviously that's like unacceptable, bro. Like I would die before I did that 2000 times. So the idea as a Discord is it doesn't really matter if you're a main or iron, but basically just a hub for more efficient players to see them together. Like I'm not saying like sub 20, right? Or I'm not like no records are being broken, but um
It's like a
just a Discord.
notch above Weedy Raids in terms of
Yeah.
quality. That's what you mean.
So like I think the average we're doing with like 3 irons is like 23:30 to 24:30, give or take, which compared to 30 to 35 minutes is like huge. Um and so it's open to anyone that like either knows CMs or wants to get involved in CMs and is willing to learn. We have like a guide written out for trios. It's going to be extended to fives. And I'm also toying with the idea of like making like the main guide. Like here is the main trio guide, right? Like here's each room side by side. What do you do? Because CMs is very procedural. Like it's not like a lot of thinking on your feet. It's very much you do this thing at this time for every single room. It's very procedural. And so we have like the base guide, and I might update it to include like, one main, 2 irons, or 2 mains and 1 iron, right? So there's all the variations, and because there's, a couple of procedural things that change when you intermix mains and irons right now. Maybe it'll change with Pole 80, but basically just a way to find teams. And finding teams obviously been like a real struggle for me as an Ironman. But I will tell you that I went from like 350 CMKC, and since the Discord was made, a little less than a week ago, I'm at 425. So 75 kill count in almost a week, which is like insane to me as like an Ironman doing CMs. And I'm not like only doing CMs, right? Like I'm doing LMS on the side. I'm doing like my wilderness stuff. A lot like there's a lot of US and EU people, so like I don't feel like I have to play during work and then like do work at night when the EU people log off. So it's like very time zone friendly for a lot of people. Um yeah, and so it's getting built up, and what I think the end goal would be is if I had like a raid team going, or if some other raid host had a raid team going. If people are looking for raid, you can go to 5 man,
Yeah, you
and
just
all
up the
five
scale to fives instead of threes.
yeah, and all 5 people would know
What to
the
do?
general procedure of
Yeah.
fives, right? You just assign roles and they would know what to do. And then you can go to 7, and all 7 would know what to do for sevens. And we'd go to nines, and all people know what to do for nines.
So you can always be
Like,
potting at one point with
yeah,
uneven number of people.
yeah, we never have to tell anyone no, and we just keep going up and up, right? Except I think we'd stop at 9. That's what the old active CM Discord stopped at when like Thykos and Bloopy were going for 2K. So I don't know anything past 9, but
Yeah, we can
That's
theory
like the
craft
end
it.
goal.
That looks fun.
Yeah, like if we could do it in like 20 to 25 minutes within that time, and we could go up to 15s, fuck it, dude. Let's, why not? And just do FFA at that point. But that's the idea, is when you start raiding at 5 p.m., it's just a moving train that never stops. And people get on and people get off whenever they want. All the way to 2K. But we'll see how it turns out. It's gotten a decent amount of traction, so I'm sure, you know, if we put in the work, there's a good chance it'll be successful. So that's what we're doing, is putting the work, getting the foundation laid, getting a good little Discord built up. No advertisements,
Yeah, keep it that
straight
way.
CMs.
Yeah, there's 77 members right now, so it is definitely growing
Yep,
fast.
a little less than a week old. So
But yeah, I intend to pot with you, but right now I'm focusing on finishing 2K Toa Cape. But then afterwards, I'll be sending some CMs for sure.
yeah,
Passively chipping
definitely.
away.
I was really worried about CMs, but now I'm not. Like, I know 2K is definitely a possibility without having to like get lucky with friend groups.
Yeah, that was I was concerned with CMs too. I actually think Toa is a better raid than CM just because I'm unable to find good teams that go fast.
I mean, just do like 14 hours a day or 14 CMs a day.
14 solos a
Do
day, brown tree
yeah.
style. Nah,
I
dude,
could do that.
I'm not a machine like he is, dude. I can't do that.
Maybe if I had an ink mace, I would consider solo CMs, but until an ink mace, I will not do solo CMs. Because Tecton resets just does not look fun.
All right. I'll make sure to put a link to that Discord in the description, so you should
Yeah,
remind me, Salii. And yeah, anything else we should add, or should we just end it here?
nope. I just hit double rate for this malediction shard. Actually, I'm crazy archaeologist.
Oh, that's interesting because I'm like triple rate for the Scorpio one.
It's annoying. Like, I just want this piece because it's so boring.
I gave up.
You
I'm about
actually
to give
gave
up.
up. Just
Yeah,
save Scorpio for bingos too, bro. Like it's always on a bingo. Trust.
there are these raggers that literally just like looking. I mean, there's so many people, so I geared up my alt in like some rag Scorpio gear, and I just stood outside, and people just like chase that account and not me.
That's hilarious, dude. There's so many like shitter PKers at those locations. Like Scorpia, the three wieldy multi bosses. All the PKers there are like the bottom of the barrel, dude.
Oh yeah, I've gotten speared so many times at the multi bosses. I didn't die once during the Void Waker grind.
It's like it's so cringe. But whatever makes you happy, I guess. Alright, well, on that note, we'll end here. Thanks for participating. I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast.
Yeah, that
And
Awesome.
was
Thanks for
really
invite.
any final words, Salii?
No, good luck. Have fun on your grinds.
Hell yeah, sunshine.
nope.
Cool. All right. Well,
Good
peace out,
luck on your
lads.
2K.